Never before have we had greater face a complex, rapidly changing world. Think of it a moment.
It is a world in which supersonic speeds are commonplace. It is a world that has seen the coming of the atomic bomb. It has seen the rise of the total state, the dictator, and the mass man. It is a world of new sensations, new excitements, new distractions.
So much to be learned by so many in so little time.
And I suppose you're here with no agenda, as per usual?
On the contrary, I'm here for comics.
How's your comic book collection, Brody?
Oh, it's going good, but I've been...
About like what's going on in that country, like personally to myself,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
fair.
a lot like
That's
that.
I can track with that.
Yeah. And so like, it's fine. That's kind of, just the running theme of a lot of the books we've been hitting lately. Like, it's fine. Even the Kamala thing they're doing, like the giant size. Yeah. Like,
When I was looking on, it's weird that I have to go to the freaking Marvel's actual website now instead of using Previews World because I don't have the Marvel books on there.
I know.
And so I was looking, and one of the variants for giant size House of M was a really great piece it was like the ensemble cast that had Wanda dead in the center. I forget who the cover artist was, but it looked absolutely stunning. And I was like, but do I want to actually pay money for that? And I was going back and forth in my mind. Am I going to get it? Maybe if my shop actually has that variant, I'll get it. My shop did not have that variant.
You're talking about the one with Wanda, like, dead center with everybody around her, right? Like all the other heroes were there?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure then that is this one. I just wanted to make sure I had the right one. Bump. That one, right?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, that one looks so great.
It's a beautiful cover.
I mean, and look at, this is like I'm a big House of, this is my, how do I say this, Andrew? Like, I know that this era is super controversial, right? Like the Bendis era of Marvel. It to me is probably my favorite era that is a lot because that was like what I was getting into when I was getting back into comics, right? It was, the Infinite Crisis era, the Civil War era, House of M era, all of that stuff. Yeah. So like all of these stories I really enjoyed. I was one of those readers that Marvel always tries to advertise to, right? Who like, I went in and I went, oh, this is all a good take on my like general knowledge of the character. This is a good spin. Even though now I read a bunch of stuff and now I know, and I'm like, oh, you guys mangled this. Like, what did you guys do?
In retrospect,
right?
Not so much.
Being an actual comic fan now, I can see like, oh, Civil War was actually dumb as hell. But in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is great. It totally makes sense for Iron Man and Captain America to be fighting. This totally works. So, like, I look at this cover and I get nostalgic because it's like, this was when we had like the new Avengers were around. This was when Sentry was still around. This was when Emma was still doing things that weren't just in her solo book that takes place in the past.
Well, she basically was the head of the Xavier Institute.
She was head of the Xavier Institute. And then remember, she parlays that into like, I guess she doesn't do it, but because of her position, she becomes like the Cabal representative for the mutants, even though she doesn't really like want to be there. Great era. And yeah, like it's all gone now. This was like what does it close out with? Secret Invasion, I guess, is probably when like Bendis was over his stuff. After that,
oh yeah, because then it wasn't too long after that he
Bendis is coming.
Oh gosh, the stupidest marketing in the world. Like, why would you actually make that decision? Why would you okay that marketing?
So that happened in 2018 when they were advertising him coming. And so for those who don't know what we're talking about, 2010 was when, at one point when Bendis did jump ship around like 2019, 2018, the big campaign DC was doing was just images of Superman, and it said Bendis is coming, and that was like it. And it, like, okay, they were really banking on him, and if it turned out well, we could have rolled with it. But it didn't turn out, like, it turned out to be like one of the worst turns for DC of all time. Like,
well, it was a 1-2 punch because they brought in him, and you know, right around that time is also when Tom King just started crapping the bed entirely on his run on Batman. When his run wasn't amazing before, but War of Jokes and Riddles and like that
there
first
are
couple
moments
of arcs
in that
fine.
like run, like those first 50 issues. I totally forgot. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't remember if it was here or just between us. Remember Gotham Girl and Gotham Boy or Gotham Man or whatever? I forgot that was Tom King. And I actually like Gotham Girl. Like I was flipping through some of the trades for that was Rebirth era, right? For King. Yeah. The Rebirth era trades for that. And I was looking for some page and I went, oh, Gotham Girl. It was a Tom King creation. That's interesting. But then again, like that's the one, like, not even like bright light, like a candle light in the rest of that run, because that's
like a night light.
If that. And like, even then, I admit it's like a very personal nightlight. Like everybody else is looking at it and going like, that's not a flame. Like that's no light. And I'm like, I know, but it is to me.
Yeah. I was one of the ones where I didn't care. I was like, it's okay, fine, whatever. Like the run itself up to that point was fine.
Right.
But then like once you start doing the stupid wedding arc, then everything craps the bed. Tom King loses his mind. He destroys the Bat family. Bendis comes and he decides to destroy the Superman family and Young Justice simultaneously. And then it only gets worse
Super
from
Sons.
there.
And the Super Sons. Because
because
Bendis was the one who aged him up.
He aged him up, and then John Kent got taken over by
Jor-El.
Who the hell was writing him?
You mean writers? Tom Taylor.
Yeah, it was Tom Taylor, and Tom Taylor, most of the things he touches are crap, in my opinion. I'm not even a fan of Injustice, really, and I know that puts me in the minority, but I don't care for it. And I know that that's the one thing that a lot of people who don't like Tom Taylor do like. I don't. And that's fine. But yeah, it was that era. Bendis had some good stuff at Marvel. He also had some, like, Ultimate Spider-Man was fine as a reboot, as like a retelling for a younger generation. There wasn't really anything wrong with it. It was just kind of like a lot of, okay, so we're kind of playing some greatest hits here, and it works. It's fine. It did very well. It had some great art.
See, right? I agree with you on that production background, but like I love that series. I think that was a fantastic Spider-Man series through and through, up until he dies at the hands of Goblin,
Red
Punisher, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So he, on his own, Bendis' red flag now, he wasn't then. Like when they were advertising him as coming to DC, that wasn't a red flag.
No.
And there was no reason why it should have been at the time, because he had done some genuinely good stuff on Avengers. As you just said, his first few years on Ultimate Spider-Man were solid, at least, right?
Right.
But then, like, clearly he gets over to DC and it's like, wow, you gave him the keys to a kingdom where he had no business being in there to begin with. Like, he had no business staying at the Motel 6 in this kingdom.
He really, like one of the best comparisons I can give, and it just popped into my mind, is like Dan Slott, right? Like Dan Slott already, he is notorious. Like we know Dan Slott had some good stuff, early on. Once he got like years into Spider-Man, he kind of went off the rails, especially like when Twitter took over his life. Yeah, a couple of hits.
He had a couple of hits and a couple of fun story arc contributions and a couple of ideas where it's like, that's actually something. You actually have something there that can be built upon. But then he Dan Slots it.
Yeah, exactly. He Dan Slots it. And that's where we ended up going right into Zeb Wells' Spider-Man. But then when they announced, Dan Slott's coming over to DC, he's going to do some Superman stories. I know both of us were like, like, I don't know about this. But he's been writing probably the best Superman book right now. Like,
He is, which isn't saying a lot because Joshua Williamson's has like a couple of interesting ideas, but it's just kind of been bleh for me.
That's what I was
Which
just
is
about to
sad
say. Like
because
the
Williamson's a
beginning
really
was
good
great.
writer. Yeah, that like first issue, and then after that, it was just like, nothing's really happening. Superman Unlimited, on the other end of the spectrum, like, has been fun. It's been engaging. It's not amazing, but it's been
But I
fun.
think
I closed the book and I'm like, this is fun. And he's kind of playing. He's going back to that like greatest hits. It feels like just kind of like a classic Superman
yeah,
story. I'd probably read it before, but he's doing it well enough that I don't really care.
right, exact. And I actually
I'm just
think
kind of enjoying it.
I like we'll definitely talk about Superman Unlimited a little later on, but I think this is a perfect like this is the kind of book they should be making when you make a movie, right? Because like all 3 issues so far, self-contained, no.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to have dove into the last decade of DC continuity in
You don't
order
even need
to
to
pick
like
up this book.
you can pick up issue 3 from this week and not even really need to have read 1 and 2. The only thing you need
That's
to
true.
know is he has the gold powers, but even that is just like you can say that in a text box. And at current, we don't even really know what it is either. So it's super easy for you to for Superman to just go, I got a new power. I don't know what it's about, but let's keep moving on. So like yeah, but Dan Slott came over and he did great. Bendis came over. Bendis was also in like that area of he was great, and then he started getting like really Bendis-y. I talk about this a lot where you can see it in his dialogue, where in the old days he used to have really organic feeling. Like that's what his specialty is that in between like just very natural feeling conversation. Like, come on, man, let's go. Oh, where are we going? We're going to my friend's house. Oh shit. Hey, you left your bag over here. My bag? Yeah, your bag. This is your bag, right?
Where it feels like a back and forth.
Right. Yes, back and forth. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. And that
doesn't feel like a turn-based RPG where it's like one person is just like they're waiting for their turn and then they hit the button for the move they want to make, right? Or for the dialogue they're going to enter in. It's like they already have a response ready to go, and it just it feels more snappy like that. And yes, that is true. And his initial, what was it? The 2, of course I've got him right next to me because
of course you
do. So his Man of Steel run miniseries, what was it, 6 issues, I think? There's 5 or 6 issues.
Something like that, yeah. 6, I want to say.
Yeah, it's fine. It's nothing special. It's not awful either. It's just like, okay, that was fine. And beautiful art, because you had Ivan Rise on the interiors.
You can't go wrong with Ivan Rise. Yeah.
Ridiculously good. He is the best Green Lantern artist we've ever had. And then after that, he follows it up with his first arc on Superman, which was like more or less the same as his Man of Steel miniseries.
It's kind of just like bringing that to the public.
And so it was also fine, right? It also had Ivan Reyes on interiors. It also had Joe Prado, who has actually done
Prado's great.
He's done some posters and stuff for us over the Rippaverse. But after that, it was like after that initial arc, all of a sudden, he went off the rails and he destroyed the Superman family, which subsequently wound up ruining what arguably was DC's best book at the time, which was Super Sons. And then, he decided to ruin Young Justice as well.
And I mean, I feel like we gloss over this a lot because John is obviously the bigger issue that like we all get upset about, but Jor-El, like he turned Jor-El into like this weird, bitter, evil guy, right?
Well, that's why I say specifically he kind of ruined the Superman family in general because it isn't. Yes,
no, I totally know what you were saying. I was just like going like, but remember this, like that was just on my, like that's what has been on my mind. You are, I'm totally with you. He did ruin everybody. Jor-El is just another bit of that. It's just the one that sticks out to me lately because I'm like, sure, remember John, but remember Jor-El's all fucked up now too.
Right, and John's the one we always go to because it was the most public, is the one they tried pushing the hardest, and it was the one where it was such a stark contrast from all that we had of John leading up to that point as well. So it was the most egregious, but because of how egregious that was and how more profile John was, we do tend to sometimes gloss over. Yeah, he ruined Jor-El as well, right? even though it was just kind of an across the board, he was screwing with the Superman family. It's like, man, like get this guy out of here.
And and then he did the like, what was it, like Event Leviathan or whatever it was, which was like he tried to put Superman into like a Batman level like world trotting mystery. But while you can do that, and we've seen that happen a lot. I mean, Jeff Loeb kind of did it in Superman Batman. Go watch our last episode if you want more on that. But oh crap, what was I saying about that? He didn't like. He basically just took Superman and put him in like a Batman story. He didn't like make a Batman story that would involve. Does that make any sense? Right? Like it's,
yeah.
You know, if you wanted to do like a mystery story with Superman, you would have him find a clue on the moon, and then he would go, to Lex, and Lex would have some like altruistic. Oh, I'm raising a charity right now, Superman. How dare you confront me? But it's all a front or something like that. Batman, he's the one who has to go through like, I have to be very quiet because you can't get into this fortress. It's secret. Like I have to get in here, wiggle my way in, steal everything out. Like he has to be quiet when Superman could realistically like do that mission just by like blowing in, right? Like he doesn't need to be stealthy. So it was very weird. But all that is to say, yeah, Bendis. I don't even remember why we were talking about Bendis. Because we were talking about this cover and House of M and all of that era and everything. But yes, bringing it back to why we actually got here. This, that's what I was saying is like, because why I said this, why I brought up House of M was because I was saying that everything lately has been sort of just okay. And even like this.
With only a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple exceptions are like stellar, but then everything else is just kind of.
But then even like, the books that we would expect to be stellar lately have been they're like most recent issues have been sort of middling, right? So like Uncanny X-Men from last week, it's Gale, it's part of her run. It was just sort of like a dumb issue. Like it didn't really grip the same way the last ones have been doing. So like,
you're talking about this most recent one?
Yeah, the one with the serial killer and everything. Like,
yeah, I was just kind of like that. Like she's built this. We've talked about this before. She's built up enough goodwill over the prior 11 issues to where like you get to have an issue every now and again that's middling or kind of bleh. Which this one was. Like
Definitely
this one didn't do it for me. Like I'm not particularly interested in the premise and the plot because it does go back to leaning into the whole like mutant suppression type of a thing that was uninteresting to me about literally every other X book that was going on that I'm no longer reading now because it was boring and played out.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, please don't go down this path. Right? Just don't do it, Gail, because like, but she built up enough of that credit and goodwill to where I'm like, you get an issue or two where it's like, all right, I wasn't feeling that one. Just pick it back up.
And luckily that one was it was a one-off. Like it was like the mall issue, right? Like it was very clear. I think
I don't know. I think it's isn't it part of a new mini arc?
I
thought it was.
I didn't think so. Here, I have it right here. I'll go look at the last page. Let's see.
I would love if it's a one-off. That would make me very happy because I loved the whole freaking number that we just had. Like that arc.
Yeah, that was
cool.
awesome.
That was really wicked cool.
It just okay. So that last page ends with the serial killer and like Wolverine, or she's like, "Oh, you guys won today, but I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here forever." And Wolverine's like, "But you don't ever come near them again. Like the kids are all cut you up." I think that's supposed to be like just the end of this episode, because then it says like next corn dogs and carnage, and then like the next cover is everybody at like the appreciation day or whatever, the friendship day, and they're just like hanging out. So there's no like direct correlation that it is them or like that this is an ongoing arc. I think like the villain is going to like come back later. Like it's like now they have a new Rogues Gallery villain, but I don't think I haven't heard anything about an arc. Thankfully. Cause
okay. Well, I hope you're correct because I was just automatically not interested.
Yeah, no, it was black.
The mall issue was kind of like, this is whatever, right? That is like, okay, it was mainly just kind of character stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Which I was fine with at the time. But this wasn't even that for me. This was just like kind of annoying to read through. And I was
Thi-
like, I don't care about anything that's going on right now.
This definitely felt like a um how do we put this? A product of like that Tumblr writing philosophy that we see in things like the Infinity comics or in webtoons, right? Like it's a little too like what am I trying to say here? I think you know what I mean, because like they get a little too like cheeky. They get a little too like cheeky with things in the real world, not to the point where you're like, oh, groan, but where you're like, I can see it. I can see it. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do, but I can see it.
It's not super overt, but you could forgive people for thinking that it
that's
is,
the best way to put it. Yeah. And so it was just like, yeah, it was bleh. The best things to come out of it was Calico got like a couple cool new transformations in that. But that
was basically
again, that's a visual thing.
But she didn't even really get to do much.
No, she didn't.
Them.
She changed, and then it was like, oh, we're scared, and then everybody ran away. And yeah, that was it. But yeah, like even this series, this giant size thing with Kamala, it hasn't been bad enough to be like, what the hell have you guys done? But it's also not been good enough to be like, oh, okay, there's something here. Maybe we could. It's just been. It's a story. It's there. Oh, I feel like I might have sent you like 1 or 2 pages from throughout everything, but maybe. Overall, just like, yeah, exactly. See, we can't even remember. Oh, I will say though, who does? I think it's Rod Rice, or he does the whoever does like the hand painted style art, a lot like Phil Noto. He did the art for the giant size Dark Phoenix. And that entire issue is like, it is just a very, very, very pretty book to look at. Here, I can probably pull it up. Also, there's the giant size Age of Apocalypse. I don't care about Age of Apocalypse, like, at all. I've never cared about it. They're doing the whole new event too, and I'm just like, could not care at all about Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, I didn't care about it the first time around, really, and I don't care about it now. I don't know why we're doing this.
It
just feels like an unnecessary distraction away from like the potential good stories you could be telling.
It is
with characters that you're currently not, or a distraction away from good stories that you are already telling, which is only a couple of them, namely Phoenix and Uncanny X-Men.
No, but I mean, like, then they're also there. But this is like a whole. Okay, your point still does stand, but it's like a line-wide like revamp, right? Like, so like Spider-Man's getting hit by this. The Avengers.
Is he really?
That's what all of the stuff. So for those of you who don't know, there is a here, I'll pull up the cover because I've got it on me. For those of you looking at the screen now, this is just the art from that Phoenix issue. It's fantastic. If you like art porn, definitely go pick it up. But yes, so this week they have launched a new Age of Apocalypse style story that isn't focused on Apocalypse, but rather Doug Ramsey, who is Revelation right now. He took over Apocalypse as well after the fall of Krakoa. Kind of a dumb storyline, but yeah. So this hits everything. Like Spider-Man gets revamped, Avengers gets revamped, and by revamped I mean it's one of those things where like they'll put the book on break. So like Amazing Spider-Man will hit like issue 15 and then it'll be replaced by Radioactive Spider-Man for like 2 issues. And then it'll come back to like
them
14.
Doing the thing where it's like we're just jumping into like this is a story of what's happening in a future timeline right now with our heroes, and that future timeline never actually comes to be.
Well,
is this affecting like the current era?
No. This is just literally
they're just replacing the current timeline books with these.
Yes, that's all they're doing. It's just a line-wide stunt, right? But this is sort of
a couple of months where I don't have to worry about picking up some books.
Hey, they're doing that Iron Man Emma book, and I'm going to at least pick up that one because that's a ship. I ship them. I don't even remember. I didn't pay that close of attention because again, I don't really actually care about this event at all. But that's my thing with Age of Apocalypse is, to your point, you're like, why are they doing this? It's a distraction. What's the point? Age of Apocalypse is one of those like 90s leftovers, right? Like it popped off in the 90s.
No, I remember.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure anybody who knows the X-Men from that period knows Apocalypse. That was the thing. He was in all the video games. He was in he was essentially Thanos in pop culture at like back then. Like that's how sort of
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah.
like popular or like how widespread he was. And so like that event was big. It was huge. I think it was it's one of those cases where Marvel got like a really good high and now they're trying to chase it for the rest of their life. Because remember, this was 90s X-Men. They went and they said, we're doing a fucking line-wide crossover. So they went, here's 1,000,000,004 books. And at that time, everybody went, oh, we will buy 1,000,000,004 copies of your 1,000,004 books. So they probably are still like, oh, we could get that high again. All we got to do is do another Age of Apocalypse. Because this is my main problem with them, is that they've done Age of Apocalypse stories multiple times throughout the years, but it's always like a different Age of Apocalypse. So like they never return to that original continuity. It's always like, here's the Age of Apocalypse, but you know, it got started by Doug joining the like Doug Ramsey joining the X-Men, or it started because Hope died, or it started because Wolverine like things like that. So like each iteration of it is like slightly different. So
Hope who?
I don't. Who even remembers where
She
Hope
doesn't even
is?
exist anymore, does
really-
she? In current continuity?
Where she is right now is at the end of the Krakoa stuff when Jean Grey did the.
Is she in the white hot room?
That's exactly where she is.
She's just chilling there.
Kind of. It was like her and Rachel, like they used their powers combined to like open a rift that let Jean access the like psychic energies of the white hot room to do that I am all the X-Men page where we started Jimmy Watch. And then like her like Rachel got out because she went to go be on X-Force, but Hope is like,
which is a trash book.
It's so bad. Hope is like a miasma kind of, you know what I mean? Like a psychic, like she's there, but she doesn't have like a physical form. She's kind of like
so
the white hot
ethereal
room.
Psychic presence.
Yeah. And they have not addressed it since it happened. Like she's just
Marvel hasn't known
there.
what they want to, or at least hasn't given the impression that they know what they want to do with Hope Summers since Second Coming.
Yeah, no, after her
that was
story,
the last time. Like it felt like she was a character created specifically for that event, and then what? They didn't know what to do afterwards with her. And they're like, "Oh, so we have this other character." Because then you bring back Jean, right, for the umpteenth time, and then you're like, "Oh, well, we don't need multiple characters that are essentially the same thing."
You did. They brought back 05 Jean, and then they brought back real Jean too. So now and then they decided they were also gonna like boost back up Rachel's profile at that time. So you've got like 4 Phoenixes running around, and it's just like,
yeah. Well, and then that's when right around that time or not long after is when then we. Am I remember that correct? Because then not long after, then we get Avengers versus X-Men with the Phoenix Five.
That's the like crux of the like Second Coming story, right? Like because that was the whole thing with Hope, is that she comes back, she's like the hope that we can start having mutant genes again, because she was the first mutant after House of M, and then after they like she reactivated the 5, and then they were like, oh, what's happening? The Phoenix is coming for you because you're able to like re-spark life, and you're also a Summers. And it was really, there are moments in AVX I like
there are cool visual moments. Overall as a story, it's kind of dumb.
Oh no, as a story, it's awful. it's so awful. But it gave us the Phoenix 5 costumes, which I'm still a gigantic fan of no matter what.
I still need to get Emma's Phoenix costume in Rivals.
Well,
right now.
Lucky for you, that's a battle passer, my friend. You're gonna have to actually like play through the battle pass to get that one.
I have the battle pass for this season, so thankfully I have literally all the time in the world until the
all of the time. Oh my god! I don't know if you've ever. Okay, I just encountered this. So, like Andrew just mentioned, in Rivals, if you get a battle pass, it doesn't expire. Like if you don't close it out by the end of the season, you can unlock that stuff going forward.
You can still earn all the stuff in it, yeah.
But I didn't know this, and this kind of makes me angry. You still have to like when you have a battle pass, there are 10 pages of things to unlock, and each page you have to earn a certain amount of the in-game credit to like unlock it for like unlocking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you know, the higher the pages, the more it's going to cost, obviously. That when a battle pass lapses and you go into a new season, you then have to unlock those pages again. Like, you have to earn back up to that point to be able to unlock the stuff from that battle pass. Instead of being like, oh, I have like 1,200 credits now, I can just go back to that one and grab my stuff. No. Like I still have the Captain America Hellfire Gala suit, which was like page 8 on the last battle pass. And like, oh yeah, I've got all the money. Nope, you still need like 7,000 credits to unlock this page. And that's
annoying.
I know, right? Like I feel like I'm being a little like prissy like child, but I feel like it's super annoying and super unfair, and I just want to like whine about it.
Nah, that's fair.
But let's see. Yeah, Age of Apocalypse, very, very dumb. Each one is like a new one every time, so you don't even know. Like that's the dumb thing, right? If they do a story, say about you know, Earth 2, right, Andrew? Like let's say like the Earth 2 JSA from post-crisis. They do a book about that, and then, you know, the JSA is gone. Like, they don't do a book about them for, let's say, like a year or two. Then they do another book about them. They're generally still going to be like the same team, still the same continuity, still know who they are. That's not what happens in Age of Apocalypse. So you might get attached to like, oh, that's a cool version of Rogue. Doesn't matter. Next time you see Age of Apocalypse, that's not what she is. And it's just like...
what the hell is the point?
I don't know. It makes me...
So this is Nothing Matters, the book, is what this is.
This is an alternate future that, like you said, may or may not come to pass. Woo, which it won't.
I mean, they never do, right?
Like, well, yeah, but I was just doing the tagline.
Age of Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse was 85 years ago, and that never actually came to pass, right? Like, we're never going to actually get there. They're not going to commit to that because they're just going to, it's the house of status quo, right? We're never going to move past this pocket of time where we're currently in unless they're completely upended from the inside out, which isn't happening anytime soon. And in some ways, that's a good thing. In most ways, it's not. So that's so stupid. That makes me all the more glad that I did not even bother to pick up a single issue of this event.
No, it's all dumb. But yeah, like these books here, like all of them are going to replace whatever their like regular book is, right? So
that's so dumb. Oh, that's right. They're doing the okay. So the annoying thing here, the one that I am interested in checking out is the binary issue because if I'm getting like.
Do they have that in
early 2000s, like binary Carol Danvers, like Warbird Carol Danvers? Okay, like
let's go.
Maybe I'll give them the like. Let me see a couple of preview pages, and then if it looks cool, I'll pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah,
I will say this: I like that they went with the old '90s logo there for Spider-Man.
I did too. Yeah,
for the title, like that. I see that, and I'm like. I don't care about this event, but seeing the title text like that again, that makes me smile.
I'll give them credit there. It warms my heart. It warms your heart, if you will. Yeah, like no, I agree. I mean, the Cloak and Dagger logo is like a slightly updated version of their old 80s
Iron
one.
Frost. That's that one.
That I'm excited for that one because that was such a good run of those two together. But yeah, Age of Apocalypse, we're back at it again. There's no real point to it. I'm already bored. I'm already bored of the event. As far as Spider-Man goes, they released like the solicit or like the tease today. It's whatever. So what we learn in this issue is that like some part of the United States becomes like environmentally hostile to non-mutants, and it's not like a mutant plot or anything. It's like something goes wrong in the makeup of the Earth, and it just becomes like uninhabitable to humans. So then they kind of like redo Krakoa and everybody moves into there. But then,
why would that only exclude mutants? Not all mutants have the same.
Because it was just going off of X gene. It was just like if you have an X gene, you don't get affected.
So literally just an active X gene means you don't get affected by whatever this is.
Correct. Okay. And like initially they like contain it, but then oh no, 100%. And then they like they like at first it's contained and then it like spreads out because this is the only kind of cool thing I liked from this issue is so Doug basically says like, yeah, we're going like it's radioactive to humans, so we're moving in, we're gonna protect it, and he basically like secedes from the United States with this like plot of land. And so the White House, like they go, all right, we have no other options. We've tried everything. They go to nuke him. But then Doug gets Vanisher, who normally isn't that powerful, to he gets Fabian Cortez to like boost up his powers. So he warps the nuke over like DC as it's like falling onto their like mutant homeland. And he just like warps it and it completely like gone. Like the United States never fully recovered. And I went, huh, that's kind of neat.
Okay.
Like, right? Like, oh, damn. Like, that's, huh. Doesn't make me interested in the story.
Yeah, the artist that's doing the interiors for the
It's your
Iron
boy.
Frost book is
never mind,
Ruari Coleman, and I wasn't familiar with the name, but I'm looking at his art. His art's solid. It's kind of house style, which, you know me, I tend to like the current house style at Marvel and DC.
Oh, yeah. Iron and Frost.
I'll send you this piece right here on Discord in the DM.
Yay! That'll help.
This one's hard for me to not like, considering the characters.
Oh! How could we not like this one? This one's awesome. Okay. And this is like the newer house style too. Like this is like the Mora style almost.
Yeah.
Like the more simple but still very defined. Wait, did I jump over?
And this one
correctly?
makes me kind of happy too.
Yeah, that looks. So this is the Iron and Frost guy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Who? Oh, he reminds me. I can see a little bit of that. Like Marion Turner. Well, not Marion, but like the Turner. Who's the other guy who draws like Turner that I'm like blanking on? I don't know. Oh God. Who? There's another artist who like has a similar style to. Maybe I'm thinking of J. Scott Campbell. I might genuinely just be thinking of J. Scott Campbell. I don't know. This is gonna bug me. I'll get back to you on it, Andrew. I know I'll find it eventually. Okay. But yes, no, these pieces look great. I'm in for like this one looks really, really good. Like it looks like a Doc Shaner piece here. So
a little bit.
I'm in for that. Hopefully the writing is good, but the Spider-Man one is because of that mutant virus like leaking out. Spider-Man like he overdoses himself with like radioactivity to like fight off the like X gene virus, but then that has a side effect of like slowly starting to turn him into the six-armed Spider-Man. So he's like trying to suppress it while also trying to be Spider-Man because he's like, I'm still here. I still need to be a hero. So it's like, I'm not particularly interested in it. That's just what it is. I don't know. I'm not like, it's Age of Apocalypse. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about any of that? But you know what we do care about? We do care about me going to the right page, which is here and saying hello to everyone who popped up in the chat tonight to hang out with us. We missed you last week, guys. Sorry about that. We just, things came up and out for both of us over just with personal lives. Couldn't make it, but we're here now. We hate to miss you, but rest assured we were thinking about you. So before we get into before I say hi to everybody, quick note: the like early part of the chat didn't load in for some reason, even though everything was up.
Oh, because of course not.
I know. Like I literally right before I started talking about this like Age of Revelation or whatever, I went, there are no chats like it on the OBS. Like what's happened? Are we real? Is no one here? And so I went over to the YouTube and I went, oh, everybody is there. Like they're talking. We're just not getting them. But I've refreshed it. We're here.
Figures. I'm
going to have to like pop up with the first one with whatever they gave me. So I'm sorry, guys, but I see ya. I'm sure most of you were chatting anyway. Let's jump into it. First up tonight, we have freaking Punk. What's going on, Punk? Punk says his pulls for this week were Zatanna number 6 with the Jamal Campbell cover, Witchblade number 12 with the Cafaro cover for his reading, and then the Art Germ cover for hanging on his wall.
I got every cover from this week for Witchblade number 12. I have my shop, the only one my shop didn't have, and my shop's super nice. Like they set aside all of the variants for Witchblade for me. Because I'm one of the few people buying the book over at my shop specifically. And the only one they didn't get in was the Virgin of the Art Germ cover, but that's fine because I have the CGC signed and graded version of that one coming from Art Germ's website.
But do you have? Hold on, I gotta pull this up really quick because I saw this and I wanted to show you because it's like, haha, this sucks for all of us and our wallets. What page was it on? I know I had it. God, this is stupid. Here, we'll keep going. Nice to have you, Punk. I'll pull up somebody else. We've got Oki saying, how's it going? How's it rolling? It's going pretty well. A little bit of a late start, but nothing to write home about. Just us, jerking around in the back a little longer than we should have. Subhuman says, Marvel really needs to stop with the mutant hate stuff. It's gotten old. I mean,
we've only said that every episode.
I was going to say, like,
talking about.
I think that's an understatement.
Yeah, we said that. Those were our exact sentiments every single episode where we were reading an issue of an X-Men book that wasn't Uncanny X-Men, because Uncanny X-Men was basically the only book not dealing with that stuff until this most recent issue. Yeah, I know. Which hopefully that's a one-off.
Which, by the way, guys, don't worry. Exceptional X-Men still exceptionally terrible, like very bad. Why can I not fucking find it? Okay, there we go. That was making me really angry because I was like, I had it up somewhere, but I don't think you have this one, my friend. I don't think you have this cover. What the hell? Why did we?
No, I don't have that one. It's
no,
invisible.
yeah, I know this is a great cover. It's a crazy cover. That's not the window I needed, but have you seen this one? So Comic-Con this year, Top Cow is dropping a spot foil version of that Witchblade number 12 and a special Death Jacket version of that Art of Top Cow Legacy that we were looking at with that Art Germ on it. And that Dust Jacket's also, I think it's foil.
Son of a...
Dude, I'm already...
No, I don't.
I
need it.
I know.
I need it.
There are so many guys, like, so next week, San Diego Comic-Con, there's all, you know, as with any convention, there's always exclusives, whether it be like figures or printings or yada, yada, yada. This year, there are so many comic book ones. Like normally, there are some figures that I'm like, ooh, I would be in for that. But this year, it's all comic book stuff. Like there's this Witchblade. There is, look at these, dude. Look at this Art Adams variant for Godzilla. Like, this is crazy. Oh, wait, it didn't. God damn, I'm in the wrong window.
You're on the wrong window.
I know. Why does it keep doing that? I'm going to close this one. Maybe it'll just go to the right one. There we go. Like, Art Adams,
gnarly.
Goji. Then he's doing, like, a blind pack thing here. So, like, I still hate it. I'm not going to do it. But just, like, look at what they've got. It's, like, all these different covers. But you have the ability to get either, like, the trade dress, the Virgin version, a gold foil, a platinum foil, or I don't even know what this is. Spot glass. Like, I have never seen that in my entire life.
What even is that? I don't even know what that treatment is.
I couldn't tell. I was going to ask you because you're the only other person I would know who would know what that is.
And I don't.
Right. So like,
I've never heard of that treatment.
But like, those were all great. There is
that maybe, so it wouldn't, the only thing I can think of.
I want this so bad. I want this cover so bad.
Oh, that's
this
cool.
Phoenix. Yeah. That Black Cat one. I'll probably grab it too.
The only thing I can think of, and it's not even literally glass, but it's like it's the vibe and look that they're going for when they do it. And this hasn't been done since the 90s. And I mean 90s when they were pumping out just all the holofoil and chromium covers and this and that, right? Like they just had everything under the sun with all the special treatment stuff. Do you remember the covers where there would be spot sections that were clear? And so you were looking at something on the other side.
Yeah, like that. Like, what's that? Isn't that like acetate?
Almost like
something?
it's a window. Almost like it's a window type of thing. So it's clear, and then you look at like other image behind it, right? For like the inside, not even inside front cover, but like whatever the inside.
There's
cover
like a
is.
page there, yeah.
Right. So you have something cut out here that's clear, and then whatever's there.
Well,
is
like
coming
for example,
through
on that
specifically.
Witchblade you're holding there, it would be like if the like the trade stuff, like the title and everything, were on
Mhm.
a clear glossy like acetate front cover, and then you
Yeah.
turned it, and that real cover is that image of what's her name, Sarah, that
Yeah.
is right there, like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. But I
That's the
also
only
like
thing I can
but
think of.
but
But I've
then
never heard that.
but then like
term.
what is it, right? But that's where I'm getting is like glass. Does that mean they're gonna do that but with a stronger material? Genuinely have zero idea what I'm looking at there.
Yeah, I got nothing.
But yeah, there's also these the Supergirl covers coming out, a foil edition of it.
This is one of the Emma Frost #2 covers that's coming next week. It looks beautiful.
I
For
mean,
a second,
more
from
more
a distance,
oh my god, who is
from
that?
a distance, it's
Wow.
Andrea DeVito.
Wow, I like this one.
I thought initially from a
Woo!
distance that it might have been Joelle, and I was like, wait, then I looked closely.
That's what I
and
thought
oh,
too.
That's not
That's what
Joelle.
I thought too.
Yeah, and then I was like, please let that be a spot foil. It's not. But
It's
yeah,
so good though.
that's
I
a
really like
beautiful
that.
cover. That is a beautiful cover.
All the covers are so good for that book, and yet we
Which
can't
is
give
why
her
I already
anything
have
real.
Yeah, this is why I already have like a lot of the first issue, because there's so many good covers.
There's so many good covers for it. And then there's no previews of it up yet, guys, but there will be a didn't mean to go up. There DC is doing, so they'll have the first volumes of Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, but they're going to be special foil variant, like trade hardcovers. And I need, like, I'm going to rush to the booth on like Wednesday night because I have the press pass. I'll be there, and I'm gonna like get in line, be like 2 copies. Like, I'm getting one for you and me, and if I don't, I'm gonna burn the place down. And don't worry, I'm not wasting any time this year trying to get any J. Scott Campbell thing. Just we learned our lesson from last year.
Dude, yeah, like I don't think he has anything announced for
I haven't seen
SDCC
anything yet. Yeah.
that is like, I need to have that. Like, ideally, I want just about everything he does, but
Of
there
course.
are only some things that come out where it's like, I have to have that. The Witchblade cover was one of them.
Yes.
And so I shelled out for that because I had to.
I can also pick this up for us. They'll have in-person copies of this one, of the Shantae special,
the
the
Shantae,
gold one.
yeah.
So
If they got the
I'll grab us
Shantae
those.
one, yeah, absolutely.
Which, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody out there has ever bought anything from like Udon at a convention, but so Udon has these cool things. They make these metal trading cards here, right? Like, these are the rival schools, guys. I have, where is it? It's sitting. I have one sitting here somewhere. You know what? It's buried. I don't know where it went now. But anyway, these are really cool, and like I really like collecting them. They're doing for SDCC, and that's what they do for most conventions, is they have a set. So like these 5 right here, they'll have a set of like 5 cards per convention that are only there, and they're random, like whoever you get. Which normally I don't care. All their offerings in the past have been whatever, like characters I don't care about. But I'm mad because this year they have Akira from Rival Schools, the girl who uses like the motorcycle helmet, like the skull. I love her and I want it. So I'm gonna be like, can you do like 5 different transactions of this and like give me just whatever card I need? I'll find a way to get it. But yeah, next week Comic-Con will destroy my wallet, our wallets, all of our collective wallets. And then we get to go into the month of August, which is J. Scott Campbell variant cover month. And I'm dying. I'm dying, Squirtle. Somebody who's good with the economy.
Did you see the Carnage one he also just dropped yesterday or the day before yesterday?
Yes, the final J. Scott, the Carnage. It's just that one, like, how do you feel about that one? Because like I saw that one and I actually feel like the least jazzed about that one, and it almost like killed my momentum for like actually grabbing the rest of the set, because I'm like, oh
really?
Well,
I loved it, and I have
really?
I have a special affinity though for like the way he draws Carnage.
I
really love how he does it, And it's because he really does, because a lot of other artists will give Carnage almost like the Dorito body, like the Dorito upper body, where they'll really emphasize
he's
the
bulky,
upper chest,
yeah.
right? Though the rest of him will be slender.
Which is
For
not
me,
what he's
I don't-
supposed to be, no.
Yeah, I don't like that because I already have Venom, right? I've already got bulky symbiote guy. And Toxin's kind of similar as well, right?
Yeah.
But with Carnage, I like when he's more like Slenderman, right? He's lanky, he's slender, he's not noodly isn't quite the word, but there's this creepiness factor that's added to him when you slim him down.
Yeah.
And Campbell, even though he doesn't draw like super grotesque and visceral stuff,
no,
he manages to pull off like really creepy, for me, Carnage. And I really, really dig it.
So I think what the distinction is there, because this is how I also view it too, is like Venom is scary in the big, like, a bear is about to, like, is barreling at me and about to, like, rip my face off, right? Like, I know I'm about to get, like, mauled. That thing is scary, but it's a different scary from, like, I'm walking through the woods and I don't know exactly what that thing is that's following me. It looks human, but it's not moving human. Like that's the difference between the two terrors for them. And I think that's why it does work when you draw Carnage skinny, because he's supposed to be the scariness of a serial killer, right? That's what a serial killer isn't. A big, bulky, like Bane, like you would see in the movies. They're just your normal, quiet, normally like skinny, kind of old dudes, right? Like they're just guys, and that's what Carnage is supposed to be. So I can see that now. I can see why you like it. I don't even know what it is for me, but I just saw it and I went, I don't know.
That's totally fair.
I have no idea. And it's not that I don't like it, and it's not that I don't like Scott. It was just something about this where I went, I don't know about this one. And so I went, if I don't know about this one, then I don't know if I have to go for like all of them. Have I finally broken like the curse? But now that this is what always happens. You've now explained why you like it, and now I'm going to be looking at it, and I'm going to go, yep, I see it now. Now I'm going to want it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chuck is here. What is going on, Chuck? Always a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. Tehillim is here. Says the Dan Jurgens Treasury story was awesome. Did you happen to pick that up? Do you the Treasury Edition Superman book from last week, this week, one of the weeks?
I did not.
Oh yeah, that's
my
this
shop.
bad
My
boy.
shop. My shop
My
literally
big oversized
got
motherfucker.
no DC books last week.
I know,
and
that's
came out
so
last
crazy.
week.
Yeah, did they catch up this week?
Yeah, they got all the books in this week. I went in, I was like,
oh no, this isn't about,
I get this, and this that isn't on my pull list already.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't asking like, oh, did they get them? So like, why didn't you pick up this one? I was just like, oh, did they actually catch up with them? Because
yeah, they did.
I actually ran into my first book did not deliver to the shop on time this week, or for this new shop since I moved to Arizona.
Which didn't get delivered?
Ultimate X-Men. Like number 17, whatever we're on.
Oh, really?
It was really weird. Everything else was there, even Ultimate Black Panther.
But
no
like all
X-Men.
the other Marvel books, that's so weird.
It was
usually
really
it's a publisher
weird.
thing.
That's what I was saying, and I went up to my guys and I was like, "Where's that?" And they're like, "It just wasn't in our shipment this week." And I went, "What?" And they went, "What? I don't know either." And
so one of the there are a handful of comic book people that I follow and interact with on X from time to time. One of them's name is Kayla, and she actually works at a big LCS.
Do you know which one, or is she just does she keep that on the down low?
I can't remember the name of it. Okay. I just can't remember the name of it. But she's mentioned that there have been times like within this year where shipments have been just super off, and that like they've received books on Saturdays before Saturdays of the week where a book was supposed to come out on that Wednesday.
So like.
Right?
They would be getting their Aquaman and their Supergirl like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's just that's happened like a couple of times this year. And it's just like, everybody's just kind of like, what are we doing here? What's happening right now with shipments?
This all goes back to Diamond. We know this goes back to Diamond and their whole implosion. A lot of it goes
back to Diamond right now.
But it's just, sure. It is very, very, very weird. Because I went to the shop because I was like, oh, I don't have Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe. I don't have any of those on pre-order, so I got to go grab that. And then I went, I need Ultimate X-Men. There's a variant this week, like a design variant. I went, not there. And I don't know why. I always feel like a jerk when I just go in and buy one book. Because I'm
Right.
like, these guys know
Does your shop
I'm
at least have this?
uh
You pick this up?
I did. It is Midtown has it. It's downstairs in my Midtown
Oh, okay.
shipment. But yes, I did. I absolutely picked it up. How could I not pick it up? Dude, I kept
This was
after last
literally
week, I kept
the
reading.
only. This was the only copy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the only copy that they ordered, but it was the only copy that was there when I got to my shop.
I don't think there were any copies at my shop. Because I feel like I would have noticed that on the shelf and been like, even to myself, I would have just, mentally been like, cool, compact comics. I like to see them.
It was
like,
the
let's
only
go.
one. Oh, I actually meant, so before we actually talk about this week's comics, we
Yeah.
still haven't, but I meant to ask you this earlier in the week. So on Previews World, it lists this twice.
Really?
Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, yeah, go for
Actually,
that.
I'll just I'll shoot you the link and then you can just pull it up.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
screen.
we can do that. Let's see. Oki says Bendis can do great character work, but he needs a competent editor to rein in his worst impulses. Also, keep him out of big events. I think that's a big thing to it, Oki, which is like after Secret Invasion, they kind of went like, Bendis, you can do whatever you want, and
you should never give all. There's almost no scenario where you should give any one writer free reign to do whatever they want, because even the best writers still need to be reined in just a little bit. We always talk about like, don't let Grant go full Morrison, right? Don't let Jonathan go full Hickman. Like you gotta have a little tension on the line still, okay? Otherwise, things just go off the rails, and that's with some genuinely great writers.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Some of our favorite writers. I mean, Jeff Johns. He's one of our favorites. Did fantastic work with the DC universe. But if he didn't have like Dan Didio and like the Warner Brothers president being like, remember, we're working with comics and like characters now, John. We would have just. He wouldn't have even written anything. He would have just done his own like who's who handbook to the DC universe. I know that's what Jeff Johns wants to do.
He would have just spat out a 3,500 page encyclopedia of the DC universe up to that point, and it would have been perfect. He's the perfect guy for that. It would have been the best encyclopedia of the DC universe to date. But you'd have been like, that's not a comic book though, bro.
Like Jeff, the assignment was a JSA comic. What is this?
Right.
Like but I did it. Like, oh, but
you gave us the next like DC universe like complete guide to type of a thing, and
or like this is so good, now we're gonna have to Elseworlds Mark Waid's book and use yours as like the actual like history of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chuck says, how dare you have personal lives? Hey, we don't like it as much as you, all right? We would much rather. Yeah, saw Superman.
I was feeling
had work
crap all the way up through the day, up until like an hour before I left for my theater.
I actually didn't. I realized I didn't ask you. Like, did you get better before your showing? And I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I knew you went to go see it.
I did.
But
like an hour and a half before I left for the movie theater, I was like, I'm finally feeling fine.
Oh, that's got to be like that's a buzzer beater. Like that's a, oh man, I barely made it out of this, and like without any disruptions.
I was stressed.
Don't worry, guys. Or on the topic of Superman, I know one would expect us to talk about it on a show about comic books. However, that would be just a giant thing on its own between both of us. You can go hear Andrew's thoughts over on last Tuesday's episode of the High Council, where he talked about it a little bit. I don't think you talked about it on your Saturday stream over on Rippa, because that was all launch like related. But
no, so I've talked about it in two places. I've talked about it on High Council this week. And then I talked about it on Leon's stream on
That's right, Leon's stream. I forget that's a stream because I don't consider him a person. But
that's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
We all understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, so if you want Andrew's thoughts, go check out either of those streams. I'll talk about my thoughts tomorrow on Good Mab Ugly. Suffice to say, we both loved it. There's, I would say, probably what I have to criticize is really just like nitpicky type of things.
There are a handful of things that I have as legitimate criticisms, but I still overall loved the movie.
So great movie. I've been rewatching like clips from it. You know, my Pakistani guy keeps inviting me over every night, and he's like, "Do you want to watch Superman?" And I say, Yes, and
Would you like to have curry and watch Superman?
Would you like to watch Superman, my brother, in it, starring role? So yeah, I absolutely love that movie to death. Let's see.
Amazing.
Right? Oki says Radioactive Spider-Man reminds me of the cartoon. 100%, right? With the the theme song. No, Radioactive.
Theme song, yeah.
Aerosmith, by the way, I love bringing that fun fact up because it is not an Aerosmith sounding song, but that 90s Spidey theme was by Aerosmith. Subhuman says Hall H will be deserted at Comic-Con this year. I don't know
what's
what
Hall H this year.
I actually don't know. Let's see. Hall H SDCC. That'll be 2025. What do we have this year? We have that's distribution for wristbands. Oh, that's just a guide on how to get in there. That's stupid.
And I also did a thing this last week, or over the weekend rather, and this right here is all up into this point of these.
Oh wait, where are you? Is it this one? Yeah. Oh, you actually like sleeved them up and got them like. Oh, you have like a chunk of them.
I ordered the ones I was missing.
Oh, you actually like went out and bought them.
I've got Bats, Soups, Wonder Woman, Flash, Hal, John, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Supergirl, Zatanna. I've got the Dark Side one.
I was gonna ask you, is it cool? Like, is the foiling actually cool, or is it just like slightly glossy?
It's just kind of glossy. Honestly, it's not actually foily.
Boo.
Yeah, which was kind of a letdown, but I was like, well, at least I have it now.
At least you've got them now.
And then the blank one,
the blank
which is
one,
supposed to be like the one for you, right? Like the insert your name here type of a thing.
I'm gonna go buy like 2 of those, and I'm gonna make them for us because I think that would be kind of neat to have. But
I mean, you could freaking throw the design. Probably you could scan it, throw the design in Canva, and like whip it up in there, like easy.
I didn't even think about that. I was gonna go super complicated and like X-Acto knife out like the card and like put our like avatars in them.
Well, I got some duplicates too. So if there are a couple that you're missing that I have duplicates of, I can shoot them to you.
100%.
I
literally only have Bats and Soups. My store never got anybody.
Oh, really?
They never got anybody past that.
Oh, so I can send you a Hal, a John, an Aquaman, a Green Arrow, Supergirl, and Zatanna.
That's it. I like that. No, Barry. What are we doing here? My super low powered Barry, my 20 power Barry or whatever it was.
And as much as I love that, well, it's hard to say I love that Wally's the focus because the current Flash book kind of sucks.
I know, yeah.
But as much of a Wally guy as I am, I kind of do hate that they depowered Barry.
Do you? Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, wait. Hold on. Sorry.
I do.
That do you? Let me read. There was a brain fuck up there because that do you was. Yes, I forgot like the depowering. That's something you and I have talked about because like you can't break the speed for. That's not how it works.
It's one thing to not have him be the focus of the main
right.
Flash book. That I'm totally okay with.
And
that's why you have multiple Flashes. You can have Jay on the JSA. You can have Wally or Barry on the JLA or JL. JLU at this point.
And then have Barry or Wally in a solo. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you have Bart as part of
whichever young team is around right now. Young Justice, Teen Titans, whatever you want to do. So yeah, like
there isn't even a Teen Titans ongoing right now, is there?
No, there's only Titans.
Or there's only Titans. And I'm surprised that book's even still going because I looked at the lineup and I was like,
so bad.
So you have a lot of the correct building blocks, but you're missing the most important ones for this lineup that you're clearly trying to do. It looks like they're wanting to do the classic Titans lineup,
but they can't use Wally or Dick or
exactly. That's it. You're missing
Garth.
The 2 most important ones, plus Garth, which I love Garth, and it's like you're missing like literally the 3 founding members. Right, of the Teen Titans. And that was when I jumped ship off of the Titans book to begin with after, what was it? It was Made in Manhattan? Was it? No, Judas Among Us, right? So after Judas Among Us and Lazarus, it was Lazarus Contract, right? Yeah, Lazarus Contract, that short little offshoot miniseries.
Yeah.
After this was then when they took Wally off because then they did the stupid crap with Tom King, right? And then they took Dick off. And then they removed like 1 or 2 others and added a couple of other characters where it's like, those characters are fine, but you're replacing these characters with them? I'm not interested in this book anymore. Sorry.
No, it's just boring. Yeah, like
if you are doing a Titans book, there are must-haves for me. And if you don't have those characters, I'm not reading the book. You need Dick, you need Wally, you need Roy, you need
I could go without Roy,
Garth.
but you need Starfire.
I like having Roy because
I like having him, but
dynamic.
To me, I will be okay if you go, we're having a Titans book, Roy's not here, because there's a lot of
if
you can excuse Roy with like a lot of things,
something,
or just like hanging out with Green Arrow or something. Yeah,
sure. You need Donna. I would like to have Starfire. I would like to have Raven, ideally, and I want Vic as well. I love that they brought freaking Omen in when they kicked off Rebirth, where I was like, Omen. Wow.
Like, wow.
Okay.
Nobody remembers her.
Nobody remembers
that was cool.
Omen except for literally me right now, right? And so that was cool. And so if you're missing some of those key characters for me, especially if you're missing like the 3 founding members, like the Teen Titans wouldn't be a thing without Dick, Wally, and Garth.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're missing them, especially all 3 of them, like, why would I have any interest in your book? Like this team literally only exists because of them.
Well, like, so I slightly disagree with you, because for me, I get wanting to see all those guys, and like, I'm with you. Like, if you're going to do it, like, where's Dick? Where's Wally? However, I'm not so hardline as to say, like, if they're not there, I'm not going to care. Because, like, we just personally, like, we've seen so many permutations of like the Avengers and Justice League where I've gone, oh, I don't care about any of you guys. And it turned out like, oh, wow, I really like love you. This was a great story, yada, yada, yada. So like, if the writing was good, I would be open to, Dick's not here or whatever. But the writing isn't good in this book, to the point where what they're doing right now is they literally brought back Terra, and they're just having Terra fight alongside Deathstroke. Okay. Like, who cares? Like it's so...
Why?
This is one of those books that they definitely like only are publishing because people know the Teen Titans, which are like the cartoon ones. Those fans who grew up with the Teen Titans cartoon, the original one, are grown up and they're reading and all that stuff now. And DC thinks like, if we have that book, they're going to come read it. But then it's just bad. But they still think that just by having that book out there, they'll get that synergy. I don't know. It's not great.
So we probably differ there. I do want the writing overall to just be good, but I really only care about certain teams based on at least some of the characters that I associate with those teams. Like, I love Wally. I wasn't a Justice League International fan. I didn't really care. That's where a lot of people have love for Guy Gardner from that book, right? And that's fair, that's fine, but I didn't care. For Justice League, if you don't have the Trinity there, for me, it's not Justice League. I don't care. Avengers is a little harder, is a little more fluid, I guess, but that's just my personal thing. That's just me.
Yeah,
I want those characters there if I'm reading this book. The difference is if you start splitting up into like sub teams, like Justice League Dark, and then you had Justice League Odyssey, which wasn't necessarily a team. That's just what they were calling that.
Yeah, that
group. But both of those books were great.
Yeah, they were fantastic,
and that was fine. But like, if you were calling this team the Justice League, for me personally, it's fine if other people feel differently. For me, I need to have certain characters there. I don't care which Flash, you gotta have a Flash. I don't care which Green Lantern, you gotta have a Green Lantern. I don't care if it's Arthur or if it's Mara, but you gotta have one of them, right? I don't care from a lot of those other characters, but I do need to have the Trinity on the Justice League for me.
All right,
that's my thing.
I don't really have anything to say to that because that's your personal opinion. Like, I don't agree. Like, for me, I don't care who's on the team. Like, of course I'll be like, ooh, I like, Kyle. Oh, I like Bruce. Oh, Clark's here. That's cool. But if they're not there, I'm still going to go, show me what you got. Show me what we're looking at here. Because, like, you brought up Justice League International. Yeah, that's got Bruce, but that's Bruce and John are the only 2 people on that team that really were Justice Leaguers. And yet that run turns out to be, like, one of the best runs of all time. So to me, I don't really care about who's on a team as long as you're like, the story makes sense. If you're, like,
that's entirely fair.
Yeah. So like, I don't really have anything to say to that because I don't know. I don't really got anything.
Yeah, it's just all personal preference.
Yeah. Let's see. Subhuman asks, did you see Absolute Catwoman? Yes, we did.
We have differing opinions on it.
Andrew's not a fan. I like it.
I don't hate it, but I'm just like, like
also
what it does remind me of is it reminds me of freaking Daft Punk is what it makes me think of immediately.
I can see that.
And I don't immediately hate the design. I don't know. There are design differences in the Absolute universe from what's more traditionally considered that character's design with some, play, some wiggle room here. Like Bruce, right? Like the Batman suit. There's some alterations for sure. There's some significant ones even, but it's still pretty easy to tell is Batman. The Catwoman one, yeah, because she got cat ears on the helmet. It doesn't do it for me. I'm totally fine with other people liking it. It doesn't do it for me.
Does it for me? I have absolutely no issue with it. I really like what they're doing here. I've got the full sort of demo that Dragotta put out.
That's cool that you have the breakdown there.
Yeah. So like I really like this. This is what I was saying. It's not a full like orb. Like it's just like the top half is like a space helmet, and then she's got like a face mask at times. Other than that, she just looks like a Catwoman.
One of those this is where, and I have seen this, but the image that's going around right now is like a splash page or a cover. Yeah, I'm not sure which.
It's a cover.
And so her head is turned down. I think you mentioned this earlier when we were talking. And so the way that it is at the angle makes it look like the entire helmet is just a bubble that's covering her whole head.
Right. I get
this
that
angle.
I get that first reaction, but then this is foil variant. Like I have to point out to everybody, like it's not just a circular helmet.
That's not the reality.
There's a design here. There's things going on. You can still not like it, but to say like it's just a big old fishbowl, I saw a lot of people saying that.
Yeah, it's not Mysterio's helmet. Like when you look at this, and maybe a lot of those people haven't seen this. When you look at this, the design is far better. I still don't like it compared to a lot of other Catwoman designs, but like actually having the full design breakdown in context, as opposed to seeing an angle that maybe could have been done better to showcase that it's not, because at least the way that it's done here in the concept art, looking at it at that angle, just turning her head down a little bit like this shouldn't completely hide her chin.
Well, if you're doing a full, like if you're doing this,
if her head's bent down that far, yes, it would. Yeah.
And I can see her doing that. She's in the pose. She's like,
and so by that angle, I could see people's initial reaction. However, seeing the full context here is far different. And it's definitely not Mysterio's fishbowl helmet.
And look, like this is just going to be a personal tangent for me, but I brought it up when we got the first concept art for Bane. I love him to death, but Chuck Dixon is sort of like, he's got like the worst reactionary bent towards Absolute Batman, and it's really annoying to me because look at like when we first saw that preview for Bane, we talked about it on the show. He went, "Oh, this is so stupid. Who cares? Like, this is a stupid design for Bane. It's going to ruin Bane." And we got to Bane, and it's actually pretty normal to like even his Bane, and it's working for what the story is. And then with this cover, he tweeted it out, and he was like, "Ugh, who even wants this crap?" And I'm like, Chuck, just let it go. Like, this is a good book. Snyder and Dragotta have earned, like, let them see, like, let's see what they're doing. And it's just, I'm really,
I'm curious to see what they do with Catwoman. I like, they're doing a very scary, vicious version of Bane in this book
of
right
everybody.
Now. We'll get into it. Yeah, they are with I actually really, so I'm glad they went the route they did with Croc. And we'll get into it once we get to, like, that was really cool. I wasn't expecting that, honestly, but I'm glad that's what we got. I thought that was a cool subversion of expectations, a proper subversion of expectations, right? Where it wasn't throwing something out, it was doing something different and cool.
Yeah.
That didn't feel like it was insulting my intelligence. Bane is written really well in this book.
Dude,
he's
good.
Genuinely frightening. And he has to be, because Bruce, and I didn't realize that, I don't think we had seen his numbers until this issue. Like, this recent issue actually gives you his height and weight. And I sent Spencer in all caps, Bruce is 6'9",
And 421 pounds.
421 pounds.
Like,
my God in heaven. Like,
the man
normal Bane would be like that. They're basically just on the same playing field at that point. And so you have to ratchet up this universe's Bane if it's going to even be perceived as a threat.
Like, Absolute Bats starts out at like what Bane is.
Yeah,
like prime Bane pumped up with Venom. Yeah, like
the Bane that broke Bruce's back in Nightfall, right? The famous and beloved
get like
story.
he would get thrown across the room by this Bruce.
Yeah, this Bruce would backhand him, and it's saying something because that was a genuinely frightening story at the time.
Oh
right?
My gosh.
And that's a masterful story by Chuck and Graham. But like, this is the Absolute Universe is a very visceral take on the DC universe and the characters. And in order to have it feel like this universe's Bruce is genuinely overpowered in a physicality standpoint, you have to go really nuts with your Bane if you're going to do Bane. And they did do that. They did do that. He's huge. He's gigantic.
It's and gross, and they're gonna break him, and it's gonna be obviously like different from the physical breaking. We'll get into it when we get there, but we've got a couple other books to hit before we get there. Andrew, do you actually want to start talking about the comic books this week instead of just catching up?
Let's actually talk about some comic books this
All
week.
right, let's see. We talked a little bit about before the show, assuming that we would just have like a free schedule, that we wanted to hit Fantastic Four. Do you still want to do that? Do you just want to go to Supergirl? Do you want to go to the other book? What are you feeling?
Let's save. I know we had initially talked about that. Let's save Fantastic Four for when we get issue 2, because I feel like if we're actually on task, we can get through the events that happen in issue 1 in like 7 minutes. So let's save that for issue 2.
Sounds good to me.
Spoiler alert, not a lot happens, but there's interesting setup, cool narration, and the art is beautiful because it's one of my favorite artists, Humberto Ramos. He knocks it out of the park. I really enjoyed the issue, and it was the first Fantastic Four book that I picked up since the Human Torch solo back in the early 2000s.
Damn.
That's how long it's been, man. It's been like 20 years. And so I picked it up and I loved it. And so I'm looking forward to the next issue. I added it to my pull list right away. And hopefully I'm not disappointed moving forward. So instead, let's just keep it DC.
Yeah.
Because I didn't read Eddie Brock. So
it's okay. It's another one of those issues that it's like the move the scene along sort of issue.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fine.
Which was kind of what the last issue was too.
Yeah, like we're in that. No, wait, wasn't the last issue when he? Oh no. Issue before that was when he burned up Carnage trying to get the information out of him. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which was like holy crap.
Which was so cool. Which was so good. Yeah, interesting like plot developments, but it's very much like the middle part of a TV episode. You know what I mean? It's very much that. Mm-hmm. So not a lot to talk about there. So yeah, let's stick DC. Where do you want to hit first? What do you want to talk about? Do we want to do it? Do we have to do it?
Let's pull up Supergirl.
Yes, I knew it. It's time, guys. It's time for us to make a visit back to Midvale. Whoops, that's not the right issue. That is a different issue.
Not even mid-book.
Dude,
this book is just bad now.
This book, guys.
This book is really bad.
Andrew is not exaggerating. So if you guys have been hanging with us for the last couple issues, you'll know that we came into Supergirl super excited, no pun intended. Andrew,
there was no one that wanted to love this book more than me.
No, not at all.
I'll fight anybody that claims that they did.
Actually, like, you might have to fight Sophie Campbell, and you might actually win over Sophie Campbell, like, in that contest.
I'll definitely win in a fight over Sophie Campbell.
But yeah, as you guys might recall, we were super excited about this. Andrew's, second favorite DC hero. He really wanted it. He went all in on the covers. We got super excited. They've got Art Germ covers coming in.
I've got a CGC Signature Series Art Germ cover on the way from issue 1.
So cool.
The foil one.
Right? And issue 1 was okay. It was sort of fine. It was fine.
It wasn't bad. It was just fine.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, so this is slightly underwhelming setup. Let's see what she does. She dropped a few things which very clearly showed that she's a fan of Supergirl. right? Sophie knows some deep cut lore stuff within Supergirl's lore and her mythos.
Absolutely.
The problem is she, like many people who are mega fans, just knowing the lore does not automatically equal being able to write a good story
Yeah.
using and leveraging that lore. And
Which
Sophie Campbell is the case of that,
Which is-
unfortunately.
yeah.
She is better off as probably an editor who could talk to a much better writer and say, hey, this is a nice, cool, deep cut piece of Supergirl lore. Could you find a way to maybe work that in an organic manner into the story?
Or
so
even
that
or even just the thing of like, oh, you know, you have a weird explanation for her costume. Like, oh, remember she had a magic hairbrush that can change her
Yeah.
hair. Like, that's what an editor
Exactly.
should do. Like, that's exactly what they should be doing.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, yeah, issue 2 came out. It went about as predictable as we could have expected. Does have my page of the year, which is the Thicktonian. It will.
Let the Thicktonian.
That is my
gosh.
new canon. I demand it.
That's the new name for it.
Yep,
that's the new name for it.
The
Okay.
Thicktonian of Kandor. She looks great in that panel. And, you know, the last issue, if you guys remember, both Andrew and I went, because, you know, the plot isn't that, it's your generic, oh, there's an imposter. How do I convince everybody that it's not me? Yada, yada. We've seen it a million times. And what was that?
I'm going to say this before we even get
Yeah.
into talking about this issue, because it just dawned on me what
Oh,
this
shit.
book feels like. This book feels like lame episodes of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. No, I think that's a perfect, like, analogy for it, because
Which
that's
was actually a solid cartoon,
It
but there were
was.
some lame episodes, and this book feels like the lame episodes of the Powerpuff Girls.
it's I think I told you this earlier, like
Mixed with like lame episodes of Totally Spies.
all of the I don't like, they're not girl power cartoons per se, but it was like the girl centric or like
No, just
oriented
girl
cartoons.
focused. It was just
like
female protagonists, which in and
like
of itself
Winx
is not a problem.
right, yeah, but like we know obviously they're not going to be the pinnacle of storytelling because they're, you know, for a younger audience, but we also know how those
Correct.
a lot of those stories all went. They just as generic as the stories for boys went, right? But
Oh, yeah.
that's what we are definitely getting out of this, because what we have here is Sophie, like Andrew said, she's very clearly a fan, but she doesn't really have what it almost feels like she doesn't really want to put Kara into any real danger or trouble or put any real stakes, because she likes the character so much. And because of that, we just get the most neutered, important, not unimportant, not nonsensical.
This
but
doesn't
like,
feel like a Kara Zor-El that's been doing things for any
Right.
length of time.
it does not feel like this is the Kara who is in this universe. Like we've talked about this before, especially if you guys went and watched our Superman Batman episode. This is very much more of a Kara who, like, if this took place like right after that arc, that would it still wouldn't make it a good book, don't get me wrong, but it would make more sense, like, character wise, you know what I mean? Nowadays, we've seen her going out and fighting. She's on the Justice League. She's like the main, they don't really show her doing this, because I actually asked this to Andrew last night. This book is the first time we've seen her like get any focus since Woman of Tomorrow. And right now that book is like, we don't actually know where it lands in continuity. Like, nobody wants to address it.
I have no idea.
They don't either. Like, it's one of those things where, like, it's Schrodinger's miniseries, right? Like, it both exists in continuity when they want it to, and then it doesn't. But nobody's ever said anything in a book. It's always like DC and the writers. They'll be like, oh yeah, we're going to bring in some things from Woman of Tomorrow. And then another writer will be like, yeah, Woman of Tomorrow's a thing, but that's not really the Kara we were like going for. And so you go, where are we? Like, what are we even doing with this character anymore? And so you bring her back, you give her this focus in the other Superman books of being, she's essentially Metropolis's defender right now. Like, John and like everybody have their own things going on, and Clark is doing League stuff. So Kara is, you know, when we see her in the book, she's like, yeah, I've been patrolling Metropolis. Like, what's going on? Not
Except for in the main Superman book.
Yeah,
And that's
except
one
for
of the issues that we've talked about having with the Justice League Unlimited book, where it feels
Yeah.
like it's ignoring where everyone's at in their solo books right now.
And that's a really good point to bring up, because like that recap I just provided, that's based on everything literally up until All In, right? Because like once All In and JOU starts, that's when things get weird, and like we kind of break away from the super family and we focus on like Lois super. It's a messy time over
Lois
in the
Superwoman
super
before
books.
she loses her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert: she lost her powers.
No way! Didn't see that.
That was
coming.
always going to be the case. I think.
Oh yeah,
it was kind of like this is always going to be a temporary thing, but especially when they revealed whose powers she got,
I was just
it was
about
like,
to say
all right,
this.
he's going to get those back.
But that's where I'm kind of bummed about it, Andrew. Is like, I know what they're doing. They're trying to go for that tension of like, oh, Zod is coming, right? Like we know now that there's this looming threat that could pop up at any minute, and it will come down the horn in the future. I wish it was more immediate. Like I wish Lois like lost her powers, and then that last page of that issue was like Zod landing on their like doorstep and being like, "I believe you have something of mine." Like that, like like that would have been better instead of
like, actually, I don't anymore. I don't know what happened to them.
and then will Zod believe you? No, and then he's gonna go try to hit her, and Soups is gonna go out. It'll be great. It would have been fun, but they didn't do that. But all that to say, in terms of Supergirl, issue number 2 was like a bad issue like a bad episode of the Powerpuff Girls, very slice of lifey. I was telling this to Andrew. It's very much, it didn't feel that much in the first 2 books, but now in retrospect after this issue, it's very much Sophie is writing from that Tumblr style, right? Where it's a lot of show every individual thing that's happening, constantly tell people every single thing that is happening, no real conflict whatsoever, quirky ways of using things that you wouldn't normally think of using them. Like, it's very much reminiscent of that in all of the bad ways. Like there are some Tumblr influenced works or works that came out of Tumblr that we could all debate and say like, oh, that worked, that didn't, yada yada. This is one that just didn't. And like Andrew said, this one really sunk just kind of everything. Andrew comes to me last night and he says, I think I'm just buying the covers now. Like, I don't even want to open this book. Like, I'm done with this book.
I think Artgerm is only on board and under contract to have done a variant cover for each of the first arc's issues. I think,
okay, I feel like that's what we thought, but I feel like he's going further. Let me just.
If he goes further, that makes me sad because I don't want to buy any more of this book beyond the first 6 issues if I can avoid it. But his Supergirl covers are so beautiful.
I know, they're so beautiful. I can't find a number right now, but he at least goes to 4. So, or we know he at least goes to 5. We know that one. So, okay, that was what I was thinking.
My fingers, then it doesn't go any further than
that. 5 is the last one we saw, the one with her like the water bottle, like holding it to like her head, to like cool down. So, it's one of those curses, guys. When you like a good artist and he's doing works for a really bad book, you go, damn it, like I'm gonna shell out the money for it. But the insides are not great. I mean, even right here, guys, before you even open the book, this bugs me.
Cover. That is not a cover that sells the comic book.
No, this is the most generic looking cover possible. Like, I don't get really any excitement from it. The text here, like, made in a fright. Okay, nothing wrong with having text on your cover. If you guys have watched the show, I love those old retro covers where they have like, text bubbles or can Supergirl escape? Like, open the issue. Like, I love that stuff. This is just text. It's not even like there's no font work to it. There's no.
Yeah, it's not even trying to do that retro, like, here's a little fun blurb and there's going to be a play on words. It's going to be, all this fun stuff that you used to see. That's like, we do that with our RIPPAVERSE retro covers, right?
Right.
We try
yes,
and throw
that's exactly
in some of that,
of.
right? That's fun. That's cool. That's a genuine, authentic thing to lean into.
Yeah.
And that can sell your book to a select audience, because there will be people that were like, oh man, I remember when I was picking up comic books when I was younger and all the covers were like this.
Yeah.
Or at least a large
right here. Case test or a test case right here.
Yeah, that's something genuine to lean into. This is just bleh.
This is like
not good
I
art,
gotta
and
put
it's just text.
I just gotta put a text on it real quick. Black text, done. Cool, smush it up. And then this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, Andrew, like unless you're like looking at the like HD cover or have it in your hands, but none of this cover is center aligned. You have the Summer of Superman logo up there, which is slightly off from the Supergirl logo and her logo, which is slightly off from the center of Kara's face on the cover. And then if you like look behind her, there's way more red space than black space. I know. This cover is fucking horrible.
Stop making this cover worse than it already was for me. I wasn't paying attention to that before, but now I can't unsee it.
It's so bad. And this is one of those cases where you can judge a book.
And she also just looks like Lady Devimon, honestly.
She doesn't, it's not even exciting, right? Yeah, like this is actually, as we'll see, this is another deep lore cut from Sophie, but this is a boring representation of what you know what she looks like to me here, dude? She looks like Larfleeze, or not Larfleeze, freaking God, the girl, like the Red Lantern who had like the devil wings.
Oh yeah.
I am so blanking on her. Like, it's what somebody might get it in the chat, but I think Bleeze, was that it? Is it Bleeze?
I know. Oh my gosh, I know who you're talking about.
But that's who she looks like.
But she does look like Lady Devimon.
And oh yeah, of course. But that's both of them have the same. Both of the characters we just raised are the same design. It's black, sexy lady with white skin, long vampire nails. Okay. I mean, theoretically, she even looks like our favorite. What's her name? Dr. Obelisk or whatever it is from Grant Morrison over at Marvel.
Gosh.
Like
yeah,
she even looks
Morrison's
like that.
Freaking BDSM fetish character.
Yeah, whatever she is. So Oki says, yeah, DC should bring back those whimsical covers from the Silver Age. DC hasn't done it yet. Obviously, Rippaverse does it with each book. They do it the best, and I mean that objectively, like as somebody who loves those covers. Some places like Image will do it sometimes, Boom or Udon. Marvel last month, or earlier this month, like the first week of this month, they did a line of like retro throwback covers that were doing it like that. Some of them were cool. Most of them were like
here's a pretty great example.
Yeah, hit me with it. Zaylin.
This is Zaylin, What Kills Must Die. This is our retro Zaylin, What Kills Must Die cover. Frank Fosco. If you're gonna have like a classic cover throwback, he's your guy.
This is great.
This book looks like it came out of, at least on the cover. You open up the interiors, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But you right, because you got Joe Bennett and Marcos Martins just destroying it. In all the best ways, but this is classic, right? This looks like it came right out of the Silver Age when they were leaning into all the cosmic stuff and all that, right? But DC's not doing that.
No, not
Marvel's not even doing that.
I was super bummed too, because there was that. I know you saw it. There was the all new Venom one that was like Venom fighting Doc Ock, and the symbiote slinger like meets his end, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Yeah. All the others were like, you could tell they were trying to draw one of those covers, but they didn't understand what makes those covers, right? So like they had text boxes and they had like words, but not in like kind of like this. Like it just isn't working for what they were trying to go for. But that's a digression. Yes, as Oki says, as they say, misery loves company, so let's suffer through Supergirl's journey together. Let's open this book, and also Oki confirmed it for us. It was Bleeze. We got it at the end.
It was
We did it. We did it, Reddit. But all right. So as you guys might remember, last issue ended with Kara finally confronting the Thicktonian, getting her identity back. Thicktonian takes on her own identity, and Kara has a kind of, or not kind of. It was a good montage of her going through her old costumes, and
it was like the one fun scene from that book.
And you know what?
Where it was like, oh, wow, I haven't seen that costume in like 2.5 decades.
I realized in the like days after we were like, after that episode, after we talked, it's just, it is literally the same scene from Supergirl, like the show. when she's trying to get her costumes. Remember?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
she's,
what's
she's
his
going,
name is like
it's
designing her
not
costume for her.
Jimmy, like yeah, or the guy who was probably supposed to be Jimmy
He's
before the
basically
CW
her
got
Jimmy.
their hooks
Yeah.
in the script. But like, yeah, remember where she like, because even in that one,
Yep.
she like wears like the headband outfit
Yeah,
and
she's
stuff,
got the
and she's
headband
like,
one and all of
I don't
that.
know. So it was, which is again a great scene. But so it's all. But what I'm saying, like, what my point to that is, of course, it was going to be a great scene in the book because it's basically just that exact same scene from the show, which was already good. So we come back to Supergirl. She's still hanging out around Midvale, trying to, earn her reputation back. Meanwhile, the Thicktonian is still watching her, still getting really pissed off at her. Eventually, the plot progresses to the point where Kara goes to check on her parents in her house, who are under the mind control of the Thicktonian. Thicktonian rushes out. They get in a clash that is very dumb, right? Like,
It feels weightless.
it's weightless, and it's so generic. I was thinking about this to myself earlier. I didn't tell you this, but now it's relevant. Like, nowadays we get a lot of jokes in books about like, oh, are we about to have like a superhero, like, oh, we're teaming up, we got to do the superhero fight, right? Like, and it's very tired how we have those plot lines where, oh, Spider-Man, you're at the scene of the crime, you must be involved, let's fight, or whatever. And then you go, oh no, sorry about that. Like, it's so old and played out that we're making jokes about it now. And I was thinking to myself, like, if we've gotten to that point, we can probably like move forward and retire the like easy versions of that trope, right? Like, it can still be done, but you got to like put in effort. Like, you got to make, they're actually mind controlled, or there is a reason or something, instead of just like, I blah 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 blah. Here, I got that same feeling, because what happens is Kara goes to like check on her parents. Thicktonian just rushes out and starts, no, how dare you? They start brawling, and the entire time Kara's like, look, like I can tell, like, let me talk to you. I want to be on your side. Like, I have problems too. And then Thicktonian is just like, no, you're not. I don't believe you. And it's just like, it feels so dumb by this point, right? Like, the idea of a character going like, oh, you don't have problems, like the rest of us, like, we've all gone through, like, Spider-Man, Batman, like, we've all done that.
I never want to hear, and I never want to read that type of an interaction in a comic book or see it in a piece of media ever again. Like, oh no, I'm the only person that has things hard. You've immediately lost me. Immediately. I don't care what it is you went through in this story. You have immediately lost me. Like, and that's being someone like, I can be genuinely empathetic, but when you use that in storytelling specifically, because in the real world, things can be different. Sometimes people are going through something genuine that everything feels like it's crashing down around them, right? And so all they can see, all they can perceive is the crap that they're going through in that moment. And they
look out and they see you not suffering from it, and they go, you don't have any problems. Like, when you're in a bad spot, you will see all the good stuff, or like not good, but
from
like
everyone
all the
else, and it highlights all the bad things in your own life. But in storytelling, in fiction, you have to be really careful when you try to use that kind of a trope, because normal people who have actually gone through stuff and come out the other side of it and know that it's like everybody's going through something, right? There's no like, you're the only person on the freaking planet out of 7 billion people that's going through something in any given moment. Like, doing that in storytelling just immediately removes me out of it, because it's like, it doesn't work that way.
See, my removal comes like one, if a character just says that, right? Like here, if the Thicktonian just said like, you don't know, like, you don't have my problems, that first reaction, that's okay. Because that's them being emotional, that's them freaking out, that's them being stupid. Like, that's supposed to be the point of that scene, right? Because then the hero will go...
reacting emotionally is going to do that.
Exactly. And then when the hero will go like, oh, even Kara here, she's like, I'm not going to fight you, let me talk to you, like, hold on. Then, generally, maybe you might have a few more punches that go out because you're in the heat of the moment. But if you're... Try it with, like... Generally, if you're going like, hey, like, let's all work together, I'm on your, like, hey, we're here together, they'll at least, even if they know they're being like emotional, they'll calm down for a second for you to be able to be like, listen to my side. So it's that second point where after Kara or whoever goes, let me talk to you, like, listen to me, I have problems too, when they go, no, you don't, I don't believe you. Like, at that point, that's when I just go, what are we doing here? Like, now it's so stupid. And what makes it even worse...
just feels childish.
It's childish, and what makes it feel even worse here, Andrew, to that point, is that all the dialogue is so childish. Like, that's like the best word for this.
The dialogue feels infantile.
Like,
it feels,
Here.
It feels like a teenager throwing a fit on Facebook.
Yes, dude. Like, and it's the most generic wording of all of this that you could have possibly done, right? Like, what's with your new costume? You aren't pretending to be me anymore? No, you forced me into the role of a villain. Les, you don't have to do all this. I saw the pictures of me in your lab, and it seems like you might just need a friend. You think that's what this is all about? Everything is so easy for you that you assume it's the same for everyone else. Please, let's
like
talk.
Most,
it's not always easy. I have my own problems like anyone else. I don't believe that for a second.
It's like the most surface level, like, tropey, like, generic dialogue possible that, like, no thought was put into it, or thought was put into it, and that's just, unfortunately, Sophie Campbell's, like, that's her capacity. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. All I have to work off of is these first 3 issues, and I'm not impressed.
If you guys remember, we did our research on Sophie. We went into this book going, all right, why not? Give her a chance. Like we were.
Our research turned up she's clearly a Supergirl fan, right?
Yeah, like, and not really any old
books. That to us was a start.
Yeah, and so we went, all right. And she gave Kara back the skirt. So we were like, oh,
she did give Kara back the skirt. Yeah.
Except it did
with the long sleeves, which I do enjoy.
Then it turned out, did we ever talk about this? But it turned out like Sophie didn't want that. In an interview,
she said she doesn't like the skirt.
And it was art
What
germ.
it was actually art germ. So Stanley Lau, who was given, despite the fact that he's not the artist on the book, which is wild to me. Like, he's not the interior artist, but he got to
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was gonna be like, it's not that crazy to not have Stanley doing like interior, like he's never done it. But then now I see what you're saying, like to not have the main artist of a book do the redesign of.
Right. Usually,
I know what I see what you're
when
saying.
You do a relaunch of a book, whoever the interior artistism is on that, like whoever the penciler is,
like Carlos Gomez did all new Venom instead of like Alex Ross, right? Like
Correct. And like with the upcoming Batman book that they have doing that, Jorge Jimenez, my boy. Right, he did a redesign for Bat's costume for that. Right, you usually have the interior artists. Sometimes in the mainstream, this happens fairly frequently. The relaunch artist for a book, they'll do some sort of a redesign. Sometimes some minor tweaks. Sometimes it's major tweaks. Right, but they'll do that redesign for the costume of the character. Archer doesn't do interiors. Guys,
never has.
He doesn't have to. He's a cover artist and a very well-paid cover artist and a pinup artist for good dang reason. He's incredible.
He'd probably feel weird on interiors. He'd probably feel too stiff.
Oh gosh, I honestly don't know. Like,
because
I've never seen him do interiors. I know. So I just don't know. And it's
my only frame of reference is going off of like who's another good like pinup painter, Alex Ross. And when Alex Ross does a book, it is the stiffest thing in the entire world.
Yeah, it's like it's beautiful, but it doesn't feel super dynamic.
Yeah,
right. In terms of movement specifically.
Yeah.
He'll have poses and more
splash
panels
pages that look great,
as though they're like just chiseled out of ivory, Grecian gods and whatnot. And it looks incredible there, but when you're talking action, it's a different matter.
The best like action movement Ross has ever gotten away with was in Kingdom Come with the Flash, and that's only because the Flash there is technically just a blur anyway.
He's literally just energy. Yeah, so he literally. If I remember correctly, that version of the Flash was supposedly a Wally.
It's Wally. Yeah,
he effectively became the Speed Force and movement itself in that continuity, and so but even that beyond that, he doesn't have particularly dynamic motion. Because to a degree, part of that might be because Alex Ross does a very realistic, hyper-realistic painted style, and he uses a lot of direct referencing, a lot of times utilizing himself, right, for poses and things like that, and that's cool, and he does it masterfully, right? But that doesn't lend itself to the kind of heightened exaggerated comic book movement that you would expect in a comic book for when it comes to sequentials, right? So it's a bit different there.
100%.
But
And
yeah, I do appreciate that Art Germ, despite Sophie Campbell apparently not liking the skirt, Art Germ got to pull that card anyway and got to redesign the suit as having the skirt.
and it makes me happy too, because when we got to the end, and Kara gets her old costume, or her new old costume back,
Yeah.
I did have a moment where I was like, oh no, is Sophie gonna are they putting back on like an old suit or a modified suit now, because it's coming from Lena? And I went, damn. But
I was
nope,
kind of worried for a moment that we were going to get like what the CW ended the Supergirl show with, where it was like basically it was just Superman's suit, right? It was just the full body thing, like the stupid one that
it was
we
like
had
the Man
in
of Steel suit.
Flash movie. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, I don't want to see Kara in that. That's not Supergirl.
But
You're just putting her in Clark's suit.
At least that one in the Supergirl or in Flash, at least that one had like red on her suit, right? Like it had color. The one in the CW was just that blue Kryptonian, except for like the S. And then they went like with the Kingdom Come S at the end, where it started getting like black and red on the front. And I'm like, all right, boring, boo, move on.
Boo.
Boo. But so in as their fight progresses from this very, very generic interaction, Thicktonian pulls out a gun that has black kryptonite, blasts Kara with it, and turns her into Satan Girl. Now, yes, this is kind of over the top, kind of a very dumb name, kind of like if you brought
it's excessive.
But this is also something this is a Silver Age thing. So like,
yeah,
we can't really blame Sophie for the name and the design.
It's not her fault. She didn't
really
need to necessarily use it, but she's not the one who came up with it.
No, she's not. But this is the first time we've seen a Satan Girl Crypto, which I thought was actually kind of cool. Like he reminds me of the hyena of Ed from Lion King, just like crazy and like ready to like tear up anything at any moment. And I went, that's actually kind of scary. Like I'm actually more scared of Satan Crypto than I am of Satan Kara. But yeah, guys, in the Silver Age, it's the same thing. It was just when Kara got hit with well, it wasn't kryptonite. She kind of had like mind things happen to her, brought out the dark side. She became Satan Girl. And it was just like one of those one-off things. They tried to reuse the concept throughout the years. It never really took. So again, this is Sophie saying, I know something.
This is what you do with black kryptonite with Supergirl.
Right. And you know what? I actually am not opposed to this on paper. Like from this page, I went, let's see what you do here. But they don't do anything really good with it. From here, we get her, like, Satan Girl just goes around being like a bully, like a very generic, like after school special bully, right? Like she pulls down, she pantses people, she knocks like over trash cans. Like,
yeah, she's just like a freaking obnoxious teenager, like on a super rebellious spree, right?
Yeah,
like the most cartoony version of that you can imagine. That's what she feels like, right? There's nothing serious about it. There's nothing that feels immediately like, oh no, all these people are in danger. And even if at the most technical sense, yes, those people might actually be in danger, your presentation doesn't make it feel that way, because it just feels super cartoony. I could be watching an episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie here.
Absolutely. Well, like you could be looking at an episode of Powerpuff Girls, like 100%. This is what I'm looking at, which is like, this is the clash here, guys, right? Which is, okay, if you wanted to go for that more lighthearted Silver Agey thing, Andrew and I probably still wouldn't have been on board with it, but you could have had Kara go mean and start pantsing people. But once you do that with like a red kryptonite, right? The second you make her Satan Girl, you're already, the name itself already implies way more like death and destruction. And then two, you give her this is an updated design from Sophie, which is like a blood cape with like fangs and the claws. Like, she looks terrifying. And instead of like sucking your blood, she knocks over your trash cans. Really? Like, that's a threat at all? Like, how? If anything, you've just inconvenienced everybody. This isn't even like a villain. You're just kind of annoying. I mean, the person who gets it worse is the guy in panel 5 here, who's in a truck, and he gets it from Crypto, who takes a pee on the hood of his truck, and because it's so hot, at least that's what I assume, it it just melts the hell out of his the hood of his truck. But from there, like even here, we just, you know, she starts like insulting the Thictonian, like Lesla Lard, and just like, you know, there's another dumb one she does where it's where did she say it? She says something like, Lesla Lard, Lesla lame, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what is this PG VeggieTales villain that we're like looking at here?
Like this is a bad episode of Powerpuff Girls. That's what I'm talking about here.
No, you're 100% on point.
It's horrible.
It's really bad. Like,
who approved this? DC
I
editorial.
don't
What are
know.
you doing?
I don't know.
Please take
like,
Supergirl seriously, for the love of all that is holy.
And here's what makes me even more like confused. I don't even know if I'm necessarily angry, but really confused. So eventually, as you guys can see on this page, Thictonian and Kara come to blows. Like, they actually catch up. She catches up to Kara, tries to, you know, get her to stop because she's threatening their parents, if you will. And in this moment, like, Kara you can see interesting things start happening. Like, her arm here goes like weird, it grows, it becomes massive pile of muscles, and she clocks the Thictonian. She starts talking in panel 3. She starts doing in panel 3 and 4. She actually starts doing Bizarro speak, right? Like, mom and dad, dumb. Satan girl not need parents. Bye. So if you guys remember All-Star Superman, the Grant Morrison one, that one brought Black Kryptonite back into continuity, and it defined it as making you like mean and dumb, right? Like, it turns you essentially into an evil Bizarro. And so I went, oh, look, she's actually, okay, now it's not just Sophie pulling from Supergirl's like wiki page. Now she's actually going and doing things with concepts that we have seen elsewhere. Let's see what's going on, especially with that like arm thing. What is that even coming from? We have no idea. That's not a power of hers or an inherent property of Black Kryptonite. But immediately after this page, it's just over. Like she doesn't talk like a Bizarro after that.
There was nothing of consequence. It was like a blip, and it was done.
It's over. Like, I don't get it. Like, even here in panel 1, you can see like Kara's starting to like mutate out because of whatever that like muscle mass is. She's starting to get horns, and her arms are all messed up. Doesn't matter. Immediately ends when they like split her from the Black K. And I guess that's what her arm was this weird goo thing that has been a plot point. I remember in issue 1, the Thictonian was like, this is how I disguise myself or whatever. And that's how she like remember she hits Kara with the like purple and green, and Kara's like, I can't get it. That's why she changes her costume. She's like, I can't get it off. So that's really all that happens. The Thictonian sees like, oh, the Danvers are in trouble. My bad, I'm done with this. Kara, stop being mean. And she breaks her hold over Kara and says like, free her. And when she does, we get how do you feel about, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because right here you can see Kara's got her suit all torn up. Lena Luthor tosses her sort of like in Superman 2, I think it is, where he throws the cellophane like off of his chest, like the S, and captures Zod. It's like that, but then as it goes over, you know, it turns out it's this sort of almost like a Kamen Rider type thing, right? Like, it's this thing that like smacks on her chest, and then her suit comes out from it. And I'm glad. I don't know how I feel about this. I think I don't like it. What's your take on it?
I feel like this is something that would work for a character that's not Supergirl.
Right? Like,
I could buy this type of a transformation type of thing. I guess it's not even really transformation. It's just like a donning of your super attire.
Like putting on your suit. Yeah.
That's not really a thing with the Superman family characters. Like, they keep their costumes on them or close by, and they're fast enough to where they can just get to them,
boom,
right?
Yeah.
And that's enough. That's fine. That's all I need out of it. You're trying to, this feels like it's trying to add something different, but it's not actually adding anything of substance or anything that matters. It's like, I'm trying to do my own thing or my own spin. Yeah, but you're trying to fix what isn't broken.
I think you hit it right on the head, because as you were saying,
You're trying
like,
to offer people something they don't actually want.
well, it's sort of
Maybe
like,
you think it's a good idea, and that's okay, but it doesn't work with this character.
this feels like if they went to, you know, Sophie, or just had like an open thing, and they were like, remember that S from Superman 2? Show us how you would make it work, right? And this was like an experiment, and we would assume like maybe they're not going to be great, but we're just sort of like brainstorming, and this would, I could see it there. I think my big, yes, I like, okay, I'm with you on like normal, on how the super family normally wears their suits. I'm not necessarily against having a suit like this. I think where my big issue comes in is that specifically it's in the way it comes out, right? Like that big, she literally pulls that big old floppy S out of her pocket, throws it, and it like lands on Kara's chest. And that, if this
it's
was
clunky,
like,
it doesn't feel like it works.
If it was like a necklace, right? And she like taps it or something and it goes boom, like, I'd still probably be like, nanotech, really, we're doing that? But that would at least make more sense than...
Nanotech works for certain characters. With the super family, I remember, so was it New 52? Was New 52 Soups.
Yeah,
like,
he had it.
It was kind of nanotech-ish. It was like Kryptonian nanotech type of a thing. And it's convenient. But, I don't know. I feel like for the Superman family, leveraging nanotech just doesn't feel right. It doesn't fit right for me. There are other heroes you could easily convince me, and not even like tech-focused heroes. There are other heroes you could easily convince me that, like, hey, their suit utilizes nanotech. Okay. Like,
Flash.
There are plenty that you could do that with.
I could believe that for the Flash.
Yeah, but, I mean, his is made of the Speed Force, or at least
I know, like,
or at least I don't know if it even is anymore. Is it? That's a great question. I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
Because Barry's wasn't. Barry's always the ring.
And then
right?
and then there's the new suit, like the black suit, or the black and red all-in suit that Wally's wearing. Like, that's a new one.
I actually have no idea.
I actually don't know. I actually do not know. That's, I'm gonna
have to look into that, because I don't honestly know. But all I'm saying is there are characters that are not tech focused that you could absolutely get away with having a nanotech type suit work perfectly fine with. There's something about it doesn't work for me when it comes to the Superman family.
Well, that's what Oki just said here. You know, he says, in my view, the point of being Superman, Supergirl, or any related character is that you shouldn't need fancy gear to be super. And I think I think you and Oki are tapping on sort of the same thing, which is like, the super family is essentially supposed to be like the best of us, right? Like the exemplary versions of
most
idealized of humans,
yeah, it's the most,
right? Like,
it's most idealized, most aspirational.
Well, less that, but more like they are, but more what I'm getting at is like, they're more supposed to be like, you look up at them and you don't see like you would look at Superman if you were in Metropolis and you'd be like, I could realistically see myself as him, right? Like, he seems like he's just the same sort of normal guy as I am. Maybe he has a smartphone and maybe he has a super cool rocket ship, but he still, is just a guy like us. He's not Bruce Wayne, who, is a billionaire, and you look at Bruce and you go, oh, I could never be Batman because I'm not a cajillionaire. So I think that's part of what it is. Like, Superman's supposed to be the everyman, not the everyman, but like approachable, yeah, I think we're all on the same point here. We'll probably have to like think on it on our own, team break, but yeah, I think we've got it. But as far as this goes, yeah, so she gets her suit back. She looks like she's about to punch her Thictonian, and then she does, she gives her a hug, says, things have to change, tries to give her compassion, and as sort of everything is winding down, the Thictonian's parents show up from Kandor and say, oh, you broke our laws, come to trial. And that's where we end. And it's just...
Yeah. Like, what authority do they have to bring in Kara? Just because she was Kandorian?
Maybe. That's the thing. We don't know why they're bringing her in. It's just, here's where we're going next. And it's like, I'm not necessarily against Kara not beating up the Thictonian, because I can actually, of everything, this was probably the most believable and normal.
I can see her
Yeah.
showcasing some empathy, some forgiveness, like that moment where she embraces her and just says, like, I forget exactly what she
Just,
says,
I
but
got you.
it's like, yeah, like, hey, like she's trying to de-escalate is what she's
Yes.
doing, which that's a Superman family thing, right?
Definitely. Yes.
De-escalation. Like there aren't that many characters, even really good, genuine heroes that we see do that very often. Wally did it in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon where he talked down and told,
Trickster.
when he went when he told the bar, he went to the bar, he said, "That lets you just turn yourself in, right? Let's
got me again, Flash."
Right. Exactly. I can see her doing that.
Yeah.
I can especially see a more mature and veteran Supergirl doing that. However, my problem here is that this Supergirl has not felt more mature or veteran.
Not at all. Like
This
that's what we
Sophie
opened
has
with,
written
right?
her like she hasn't felt any more mature than Supergirl does in here. And this
Which
is
is
Supergirl's first days on Earth.
like literal
Right?
first days on Earth. She learns English in that book.
Yeah, like she's a literal teenager in this book trying to figure things out, right? All she knows is that her planet's destroyed. She found her cousin who was supposed to be a baby, and she was
Baby.
supposed to be the caretaker of, and instead he was in his 30s, and instead he was Superman, right? And everything changed for her overnight, at least to her perception.
Yeah.
But
I mean, kind of did.
instead this is what we're dealing with. And so a lot of things, I can see building blocks of what Sophie might have been trying to do, but at least based on these first 3 issues, I don't think she has the writing chops to pull it off.
No, you're right.
I can see things where, like, if you had given an outline of this maybe to a far more skilled writer and said, these are some bullet points I really want to hit. This is where I want Kara to start in this arc. This is where I want her to end in this arc. Give that to a writer that has the writing chops, that's been around the block,
and you could have
and let him play, like, let him cook, let him go to work.
And like to that point, you could even have them if Sophie really wanted everything in her run to like happen, like if she wanted the Thictonian, if she wanted the mistaken identity, if she wanted all of that, she could still put that in her outline. But like,
yeah,
another writer could handle this way better.
Work better.
Like we would have cared. It again, like this is we called it from the very first issue when she saves her, like the Thictonian from the train. We were like, all right, well, that's going to be her, and she's going to be jealous, and they're going to get in a fight. And that's exactly what we got with the most generic dialogue, pretty much up until like right here. Well, I was going to say till right here, but even this dialogue is very generic, right? Like things have to change. I'm not really one for punishment, but I am one for second chances. Like, okay, good sentiment. Very.
I expect a Superman family character to be able to pull out a better speech than that.
Yes, like an actual speech,
and especially one who's been around the block as much as this Kara is supposed to have been.
Mm-hmm.
Kara, you've been around Clark more than long enough to be able to pull out a better speech than that.
And it's a speech of like compassion, right? Like that is the Kryptonian bread and butter. Like that is your second, like it's in your DNA. So to just give it, it's very. I don't know. I don't remember if I said this when we were talking about it earlier, but I meant to. It all feels like the script to a like school assembly PSA, right? Like, yeah, you're conveying the idea, but it was clearly like this sentence is only existing to convey the idea. There's no flourish. There's no personality. It's just like, yeah, you get second chances. We all deserve second chances, right? Like, you could have thrown something in there like we all deserve second chances. Me, I lost my first homeworld. I'm here now. Like, there's things to talk about that aren't just okay. Second chance is good.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think like you hit it. I don't really have any interest in anything going forward with this.
There's literally nothing in this issue that gives me a shred of a thread to like want to tug on and see where it might lead.
Nothing.
I mean, I messaged you earlier. I was like, man, I think I might just pick up Art Germ's covers for the rest of this arc and be done, because I can't envision giving this book any more of my time. Like
I know.
I feel like I was already generous enough after that first issue, which was, in retrospect, like we were like, it was okay. In retrospect, it was probably not as okay as we were giving it credit for. I think we just both really wanted a good Supergirl book, and we're like, okay, so maybe it's just off to a rough, or a rocky start. Maybe she's gonna cook, let her cook. And then issue 2 came around. I was like, wow, it got worse. And then this issue came around, and how did it get worse than issue 2?
And now, I'm looking back, and the red flag was there from page 1. Like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look at what we said in that review, because remember, the opening of Supergirl 1 is that really bad fight against the shark lady invader. Remember? That is just like, I'm here! And then Kara is like, okay, I'm carrying you out to sea. And it's like, what? How did we get here? Like what are we doing?
Right?
But you and I just went,
exactly.
That was weird. But we can.
Yeah, it was weird that we just skipped through anything happening. We skipped to the resolution of this conflict. We went from point A to point Z. We skipped everything in between.
And you're totally. If we weren't having like Kara colored glasses on, we definitely would have been like, all right, we're not even talking about the rest of the issue. Like, we're done here. Like we need, this book's over. I'm out. And
in retrospect, that might have been that might have honestly been the better play. And guys, this is why you come here for intellectually honest comic book talk, because we're able to be reflective and say, gosh, like,
we got it wrong. We got it wrong.
Man, we weren't like hyper hopeful after that first issue. We were like, I was hoping for a lot more, but we were like, let's see what she does next. And then if you guys watched our episode 2 review or our issue 2 review, then we were like, oh man, I'm not feeling good about this.
not at all. And like, I want to see the alternate universe where the Art Germ covers weren't a thing, because I still think we probably would have gotten to 3 spending money on it. And that would have, and that I think tells you everything, guys, because realistically we should have dropped it at 1.
If Art Germ was not on the covers, here's the thing. If Art Germ wasn't on the covers at all, like not even on issue 1.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have purchased past issue 1. I don't think.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you and I would have gotten to here still, but that's sort of what I'm saying is, like, we're taking our L here and we're being reflective, because like I think you and I were in denial up to this point of the book, right? Like, I'll admit, even though you and I had talked about the cover and we talked about like, the font is gross, like it's so boring. I still went, let's just see. When all of our instincts should have fired off with no, like skip it, move on, read anything else. So guys, I think that's Supergirl.
Don't bother picking up this book.
Don't bother picking up this book. I don't think you're probably going to hear anything from us on this book. You'll probably get the MAV updates that I like to do, where I just flip through a book to see if there's anything that'll annoy Andrew. But that's
true. I'm
not gonna hang around for this one. Like I'm done. I'm outie with Supergirl. I'm sorry. We'll see you. Okay, I still can't get over this fact that I asked you last night. This is the first time Kara's gotten legitimate attention of any kind of like
since
her own
Woman
story.
Of Tomorrow,
which is insane.
Which is awful. Awful.
And it's an awful book. It's an awful circumstance. Like,
if you are a fan of Supergirl, you're not just taking a story in isolation. It's like, oh, who is this? I know nothing about this character, but here's this book, right? You're going to read that. Maybe you get something out of it. Maybe you don't. But if you know anything about Supergirl, if you know anything about Kara Zor-El, and you pick up that book, you don't know who you're looking at, aside from seeing the S on her chest, because that is not Supergirl.
Unless you were like, you read her comics in like the 50s, and then you took a break and you just picked up issue 2, like for whatever reason, right? Like, then you might go, oh, I recognize this Supergirl. But then to what Andrew's saying, that ignores all the other 70 years she's had since, she died in Crisis. So it's pretty bad. Again, what is happening this year? all of our waifu books turn out to be hyper dog shit super fast. Like Dazzler was a bust for me. Supergirl was a bust. Let's not even talk about Exceptional X-Men. Good Lord, what is going on with this with this run? But yeah, Oki says thanks for reading the Supergirl books so we don't have to. That is our duty here to serve you proud. Well, I guess Oki's not American. You proud Supergirl fans. You proud comic book fans. Subhuman does ask before we jump on from Supergirl. Do you think it will be better for Tom King's Supergirl? I think he's asking like in comparison to her treatment here. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's just two different types of bad. Like, to be perfectly honest, now I have been told by a good friend of mine who I stream with just about every Tuesday on the High Council of World Class Bullshitters, Script Doctor. He has said, because he knows people attached to the project and people who've actually seen early things about it. And though I don't always 100% align with Script, usually if he tells me that some things aren't on their face what they might seem online,
He's generally right.
He tends to be correct, at least in that. And so he did tell me this past Tuesday, and you guys can go rewatch that episode of the High Council to check my homework, that I don't need to be as concerned as I actually am right now. Now, that's hard for me to square up with right now based on where Kara's at in the comics and based on the like trashy party girl presentation they gave her in that post-credit scene in Superman. It was one of the few issues that I even took with the film. Because outside of that, she looked incredible.
Dude, I love
her costume was perfect.
I love the little detail when Crypto pounces on her and they're like playing and they're like cracking the ground, but like they're not noticing because
she's fine.
Yeah, they're Kryptonians. I liked that detail. I went, that is cool.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. And so I'm trying to be hopeful for that. The way that he was talking suggests that they were only taking very specific minor notes from the Woman of Tomorrow Tom King story.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. Like,
that's still like, even if that's the case, it still concerns me to a degree. So it'll be one of those things where I'm going to watch it.
All based on it. Like that's what gets me. Is like they're saying like it's based on this run. Tom King's on this one, and then the little blurb we've seen so far like specifically names like the character and plot line from Woman. So like
I've seen plenty of marketing and interviews that have said that type of exact language before and it not end up be the case. I've also seen it end up be exactly the case.
I know.
Enough times to where I'm willing to take my friend's word for it enough to say I'm going to see it and try and make my own determination.
Well, I mean, you would be doing that anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to try and not let all that other stuff paint it. But like, as hypercritical as I was already going to be of a Superman film, made by a director I'm not particularly a fan of, and I wound up loving the film, I'm going to be even more so of the Supergirl film because this is a character that I love more than most characters.
Absolutely.
So I'm
understandable.
Like this film needs to knock it out of the park in terms of just both being a good movie and a great Supergirl movie. I need Kara to be done right. I really need her to be done.
Is Gunn writing and directing it?
No,
I can't remember.
No, he's not.
There's somebody else, right? So
yeah, it's somebody else.
I don't know who it is. I was just curious for that one. So
I forget their name. Supergirl movie writer. Well, that's not helpful at all.
Oh, right. Anna Noguera. I never know how to say her name.
I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, I can't pronounce
that. Previously working on the Supergirl film in 2022 and brought back by... Okay, so she was working on the one that was supposed to be with, what's her name? Sasha Kaye.
Yeah.
So she was brought back for this one. I don't know. We'll see.
She's actually kind of like Sophie. She doesn't really have a lot of writing credits yet, which is not to say she's going to be bad at it. It's just we don't have a lot to... to go
Every
off of.
writer is a first-time writer at some point. Everybody's a nobody until there's a somebody. Chuck Dixon was a nobody until he was a somebody. Jeff Johns was a nobody until he was a somebody. Same with Grant Morrison and so forth. So that in and of itself isn't enough to be any kind of red flag. It's just, okay, so let's see what they do with it. I need to see a trailer. I need to see a trailer that gives me tone. There were enough trailers and featurettes for the Superman film that gave me tone, that alleviated my concerns for the most part. That was like, okay, I'm going to go into this with as much of a blank slate as possible. I'm going to try to have a good time. If I don't have a good time, that's on the movie. Right. And so I need that with the Supergirl film. I really want it. I want it so badly. Supergirl has been either done wrong or wasted so many times. She was wasted with Melissa Benoist in the CW because she was actually a really great casting, and seasons 2 onward were just awful, right?
The second Kat leaves the show, it's over.
That's the thing. Like Kat elevated that show so highly, it's ridiculous. So I hope the movie's good. I really want the movie to be good. I loved Superman,
but I'm also
I want to love Supergirl even more.
I'm kind of at that point where it's like, I love Superman, but I'm not that is not anymore. That doesn't buy any credit with me anymore.
Right?
Yeah,
right now DC hasn't earned that. Like you don't get credit right now.
No,
you need to earn a lot of credit. You need to build up your credit score from being bankrupt basically and having as close to a 0 credit score as it comes, and you have to earn that back. You earned a little bit with Superman because it was a fun film. I adored it.
We're going,
but that's one thing is not nearly enough. You have to have multiple things going. If you're going to try and sell me on an expanded universe of these superheroes again, you got to do the work. You got to do the due diligence. You have to earn that, and we'll see. I'm willing to give them a shot. If they pull it off, they pull it off. And I would love nothing more than for that to happen. But I'm going to be objective.
I think we all hope it's good. But yeah, just we've been burned before, so take it as it comes. We'll let you know what we think of Supergirl once we start seeing things from it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll probably see a trailer or maybe a teaser at Comic-Con.
Whoops.
Maybe because the movie comes out next year.
Yeah, the filming wrapped like 2 months ago. Comic-Con's coming up.
They at least have a trailer cut by SDCC
or a clip. Like there's going to be something. Like we will see Millie Alcock in action as Kara to some degree. Because like I remember years ago when they were showing off Iron Man. Yeah, the first Iron Man when they were showing that off, they showed like a clip of the scene where he comes back, like when he first lands like with his new armor and like takes out all the terrorists. It was that scene, but it was like,
yeah, that's a great
scene. But it was like the scene's like 3 minutes long, but it was only like the first 20 seconds were fully done. Then it was like basic modeling, and then it was just like the green screened version with the actors on it. But they were just like, here's what we've got so far. So I'm probably something along those lines. But
maybe it's possible that they have a little bit more than that, just because her suit doesn't require the CGI that the Iron Man suit would.
When does her movie come out?
I think it's next summer.
It is okay. So next summer, this is a weird. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, but also like, would they kill the super momentum the Superman momentum so early, or would that help the momentum? Now I'm getting into like
do they perceive it as something that's going to boost the momentum of the Superman film, right, or detract from it? Like it depends on how they angle the marketing with that. I'm curious. I mean SDCC's, that's the Comic-Con. So like, if you're going to show off the trailer, that's where you're going to do it. So I hope that they do, but I hope that they only do it if it's ready to show.
If it's worth showing. Yeah. Not just like turn in what you got. Like if it's not ready, don't show it. 'Cause that will hurt. It will
Super Bowl or something, right?
Didn't we get Superman during the Super Bowl? No, Superman we just got like on its own. So
no, we got Deadpool and Wolverine during the Super Bowl.
That's what it was. That I knew we got like a big superhero movie during the Super Bowl. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hey. What?
You pay no bills.
Zero.
Dog's barking like he pays the rent.
What's going on? He said, yep, that's the worst part. Cat was a very strong character who leaving the show tanked it. It really, maybe not fully,
It was a combination.
but it was,
that,
I'd say it was a big part of it.
That hurt it hard because she added a fantastic dynamic. Callista Flockhart.
Yep.
Right? She was incredible. Absolutely incredible casting. And she nailed every single scene she was in.
I love her so much.
But
in that
just
show.
removing her, if the rest of the writing had still been good, wouldn't have tanked it. It would have been unfortunate.
Yes.
But it wouldn't have tanked it. The problem was you removed probably the strongest actor in the show.
Easy.
And then on top of that, like just the writing wound up being bad afterwards.
Then they went like
it was a
full CW, and you're like, oh.
They went full CW, and that's where you actually get to pull in. Yeah, they're going the full identity politics, the woke, the blah 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 2019 talking points, right? Like that. That was one of those instances where you could point to and you could be like,
right there.
That's where they were doing it, right?
That's how it happened.
And it's unfortunate because the first season, I will die on this hill. The first season was a ton of fun. It was the right amount of camp. It's not perfect by any means, but if all of the rest of the seasons
for a season one of a show, I'd say it's up there. Like, did very well for a first season.
If the rest of the seasons had been like season one, I would have been happy to continue watching.
Yeah, but unfortunately they weren't. And the only time after that I tuned back in was for the Crisis crossover. And even then, the Anti-Monitor, I'm still kind of out on what they did with him and made him look like Zordon. But what I'm not out on is we're gonna close out with this book, guys. I know we only hit 2 issues this week, but we spent a lot of time chatting at the top, and
had a lot of catch up with y'all.
We had to catch up with y'all. The other books we were going to talk about were really just sort of quick hits. Andrew already gave you the rundown of Fantastic Four. We were going to talk about Superman Unlimited #3. I guess the easiest thing to say there is, like we actually kind of hit it at the top of the show. Yeah, it's a fun book. It's very much like, this is the smart way to do things, guys. If you want to do a tie-in, or if you want to, do that synergy, comic book and a live action, instead of changing the main book to, bring in whatever the movie is or any of that crap, you just make a series that is self-contained in each issue and doesn't need a lot of backstory. And that, like, Unlimited, I really wish
Unlimited's doing that.
I wish it was, honestly, Andrew, I wish it was like $3 or $5, right? Because it's an oversized series, so I think it's like $7 standard. But like, if it was cheaper, I think, or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I think it's a $4.99.
Is it?
Hold on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, hit me.
Superman Unlimited is a $4.99. Hold on,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
It's like 2.5 feet away from you, so it's just enough out of reach
that you actually have to
not
like stand
be able to
up.
keep my headphones in. That's my absolute DC Universe box.
When will they give us a? Isn't it so weird, guys? Like, they don't do. You guys know all like the long boxes we talk about here that you see at your local comic book shops.
Like it's a $4.99.
Oh, it's a $4.99. Okay, I don't know where I got 7 then, but either way,
it should be a $3.99.
Like a $2.99 or a $3.99. Throw that thing into like a grocery store. Boom! Like I think that would have been a winner. So, not a perfect roll off of the synergy, but better than retconning everything so that it lines up with whatever the hell your last movie was. But with that, so Superman Unlimited good, but Absolute Batman better. Like,
this book was wild, man.
This
this book was genuinely gnarly. I didn't know what I was expecting going into this issue, but it wasn't this.
No way. So like, I'm right there with you. Like the series, as you guys know, what are we at? We're at how many issues is this now? This is the
10th.
10th. Wow. So yeah, 10 issues into the series. You guys know we have been a big fan of this book. This was one of the books okay, that's unfair. There was only like 3 books at the time, but this did help convince Andrew, to keep checking out the Absolute Universe when he wasn't super jazzed on it in the beginning. It has been consistently a pretty nutso book. Like, just every issue, we talk about it here. Snyder is really leaning into that idea of like the monthly comic book. So there's every issue has, a scene where we go, whoa, or oh man, and it keeps us coming in. It keeps us wanting to see what's happening next.
He's doing something in a monthly that a lot of like twice monthly books don't do, which is like making you look forward to the next issue, even though it's going to be a whole nother 30 days before you get it. Like you're genuinely looking forward to it. And that's something that a lot, especially in this like solicited sequential storytelling, monthly drops, monthly releases, doesn't get pulled off nearly as well as it ought to be in this day and age. Like comic books are not in a place where they can afford to have people not really looking forward to the next issue.
Right.
Especially people like myself or like Mav, where it's like we want to look forward to the next issues. And so it's actually your fight to lose if you don't have us looking forward to the next issue. Right? Because it really, look, yes, comic book fans can be very difficult to please when it comes to adaptations. However, when it comes to our comic books, like our actual comic books, give us a good story and give us a reason to be genuinely curious about what happens next. A lot of books just aren't doing that. A lot of books are just like, some stuff happens, a lot doesn't happen, and we're kind of like, do I care about what happens next?
A lot of the books that, across the board from Marvel, DC, Image, whatever, they expect you to care specifically for the characters that are featured. Like you're going to go, I see Wolverine, or I see Kitty Pryde, I see Spider-Man. I'm going to pick up that book. And yeah, that does sort of work sometimes, but then the problem is,
but do you care enough to keep reading?
Do you care enough to keep reading? And that's the problem, is that they go, oh, they're going to keep reading for the characters no matter what. So they lose that sense of urgency about like, we need to keep them invested. So you get a lot of...
It's that brand and franchise mentality as opposed to actually keeping them invested just because the story is good and the characters are interesting mentality.
No,
they think that just the name, that's the exact problem that we have seen, and 1.5 million YouTubers and their goldfish have talked about for years now, where the MCU fell apart because they decided, oh, we can just put anything under Marvel Studios and that's good enough to crap out $1 billion film. No, it's not. We found out that it's not, right? Like you have to earn the ability to get $1 million or $1 billion at the box office, right? Like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 didn't make a crap ton of money at the box office just because it came out of nowhere. No, they earned that because of the goodwill that they had built up with all of the prior phase 1 and 2 films, right? And so comic books need to keep that same mentality of we have to earn people's readership month after month.
100%.
You cannot operate under the guise and under the mentality of just because I am making a book that is titled Amazing Spider-Man, that entitles me to have crazy sales numbers.
And even in this day and age, we're seeing that characters aren't even a selling point anymore, right? Like, Weapon X-Men has Deadpool and Wolverine and Cable as as 3 of its leads, canceled after 5. Like,
because people weren't really reading it, people didn't care.
And that's sort of, there's another big thing I've been seeing discussed by pros lately, which is like, there's just too many books.
Success of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie,
well,
right?
Like that's the thing, is like we've gotten to a point in comics where it's like there are too many books. We don't have enough money to read all of these books. We have to be hyper selective now, dude. It is. This week is brutal. Like I don't even want to talk about.
Here's the great context, guys. So we didn't have the show last week, but last week my LCS was one of the shops. It wasn't the only one. There were many throughout the country, but it was one of the shops that didn't receive their shipment of DC books that week. So the only books I had last week were my few Marvel books. I had like 3 or 4 books last week.
Yeah, you had maybe one stack.
And maybe like 1 variant cover, right? So I had a total like 5 books. And so it was like, okay, whatever. I guess I just didn't spend much money this week. But this week, my shop got in all of last week's DC books as well as this week's DC books. And so I had a total of like 15 books.
Oof.
Plus I also picked up the DC Compact Superman Batman, right? Which is $10. Plus, I also picked up, can I reach it from here without unplugging my headphones?
$10. Baby? You're picking up your copy, right, everyone?
Plus, I also got the Marvel swimsuit
The box.
short box, right?
Oh, that's
so
great.
It's got the Brooks cover on the one side, and it's got the Adam Hughes
The
one.
Hughes one. Okay, they picked the two best ones. That's all right.
The other
I'm
one,
glad
right?
for
So
that one.
beautiful
that
box,
one.
but it's like, holy crap! Like all of a sudden, all of this stuff that I'm grabbing in one single week, and I'm like, damn, man, like what the hell? Like that's a lot of money. Now I think to myself, what if DC and Marvel were putting out like 3 more bangers a piece?
We'd be
right. That I felt
broke.
like I had to be reading. Like I wouldn't be broke, but I would be like, man, I have a lot of money going to comic books right now. Like I need to think about like what's not an 8 out of 10 or above, because I'm just like, right. So it's people have a finite amount that they can spend on comic books, even if they just adore comic books. And so they're not in a place where they can assume people are going to be on board by
No,
brand
not at
or
all.
title alone.
Like Mike Calkins. What's up, Mike? First of all, I didn't get to say hi to you, but Mike brings it up. It used to be true about just the brand or the character or whatever could sell because Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Well,
and that was the last time where they really could claim that.
But also remember the other, to like Andrew's point, there's also the fact that like that was a mid crossover thing, right? Like, so a lot of people went,
they sandwiched that
this
in
is
between the biggest cliffhanger and the biggest like finale of all time.
That's what the Infinity War post credit was, right? So everybody was primed at that point. To your point as well,
Mike.
They told
you have to watch this movie.
But like, so everybody was primed to go, I need to watch this interlude to get whatever comes next, which is like, we know now that you really didn't, but it's still to that point.
It gave you context for like, hey, now I feel really happy when I see Thanos smack Carol out of the movie.
But it's so much cooler. Like, to her overall character, she just shows up when she's rocketing through the atmosphere. Like, if that was her introduction to the MCU, oh my God, that would have been amazing.
It would have been way cooler. And
then just take her cosmic or whatever and let her go be powerful somewhere else. But yes. We digress. This is not the time for the MCU. We'll talk about
no, it is not.
I guess we'll probably talk about the MCU next when Fantastic Four rolls around. But we'll stick it's coming. We'll stick to I'm so less significantly excited.
It's like what, 2 weeks away or 1 week away?
Oh,
1 or 2 weeks away?
Yeah, I think like 2 now or like 1. I will admit though, after Superman, like I'm significantly less excited for Fantastic Four. And I was already, you guys know this, I was open to it. I was like, hey, Galactus, finally, I'm cool. Like, they got colors, they're doing stuff. And then I saw Superman and I'm like, never mind. That's the standard now. Like, we're not coming back from that. But instead of Superman, we'll close out our show here tonight with Batman, the absolute Batman of it all. Because like Andrew
said,
is
an absolute unit.
He is an absolute unit, and this book just takes everything, and it almost feels like as cool as like a culmination of like an entire storyline, but it's not. We're like maybe halfway through it, if that. So that's what I'm talking about. Mike says, saw Superman twice in theaters already. Gotta see it again. That's what I like to hear. Good, it's so awesome. So yes, absolute Batman. As you guys know, this has been a really enjoyable book for everybody here. We talk about it a lot. Pretty much every week a new issue drops. Last time we were here, we got the discovery of what Arc M really is, where it is not just a black site prison, but it is a giant like underground arc, essentially like a biblical sort of arc that has multiple locations around the world that we don't know what they're using them for quite yet, but clearly by, after Andrew brought, like, I didn't make that connection at first, but then you brought it up last time, like the arc as in like, biblical arc. And now I'm like, that's gotta be like, that has to fucking be something.
That has to be
like,
something. It has to be something.
It has to be.
If it's not something, then I will throw out I like most of Scott Snyder's DC work card.
Right? I will be so surprised.
I don't know what I'm talking about at that point.
But
so that's exactly the kind of crap he would lead into.
That's what I mean, right? And like once we got that big reveal of it, I'm like, it has to be. We've got it. And then there's like all the bio experimentation. Like there's something here, guys. But if you remember, Bruce went in looking for Waylon, his friend, Killer Croc, who in this continuity was not a Croc at that time, was just a boxer, still just Bruce's friend, got abducted. Bruce goes looking for him. That's where he encounters the ultimate, or the absolute Bane, who, as Andrew was talking about earlier,
absolutely rocks his crap.
Who, like, venoms himself up. And if you guys remember, it's that amazing page where it's not even like a smashing brutality. It's Batman fighting, and Bane is also like, pressure point, block, like disable your arm. He's being
he's toying with him.
Yeah,
he's toying with him, and he's like, he'll completely disable one of Bruce's limbs. It's like, okay, that's fine. You have your other one.
Yeah, and he keeps telling him that. Yeah, he's like, all right, now other one.
He's messing with him the entire time. You're like, holy crap, he is dismantling this Batman that we just witnessed be an absolute unit for the first 8 issues of this series. And be basically uncontested and unchallenged. And then he went up against this version of Bane, and he gets rocked.
He gets absolutely shredded, to the point where we open up here. It's been about a month since the last issue, and if you guys remember, we left off with Bruce having been captured by the Arc M staff, and this issue opens with, we discover he is still being held in the facility. He is constantly being experimented on. He and essentially what we learn is that he keeps waking up and he keeps making various escape attempts. But every time he gets caught. Bane finds him, somebody finds him, and he gets thrown back in his cell. But of course he's Batman, so he tries again. What he doesn't know is that this is actually an actual test. Bane and the administrator of the Arc M facility, who we learn is the absolute Dr. Arkham, those two are we don't know what it's for yet, but they're trying to temper Bruce into something. They're trying to break his spirit. They modify him to take venom later on, and it gets nuts. But as he's going through and trying to escape, we see various other Bat villains and sort of what is happening with their incarnations here. If you guys remember Mr. Freeze, he was a cryo specialist over just a madman. And, he was experimenting with, what do you call it? Like freezing temperatures and their study, their applications to human life. That's what he was doing for his parents. And he had a big old lab that was essentially the Fries biome that was cold, and it would let him work in it. So that's what that's what Bruce is encountering as he tries to escape Arkham. So here he encounters the Clayface experiment, which is walking on them, and a face is it hurts so bad. It's that creepy. And of course, Bane grabs him, knocks him out. We restart the whole process again. And there is another escape attempt. He goes through the Isley experiment, and it's clearly Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy. It has something to do with the green, which I thought was pretty interesting. That's the first time we mention it in the Absolute universe, which is the green, the red, the blue, those are the interconnected energies of so the red is life, the blue is everything aquatic, and then the green is foliage, plants,
the earth. The earth. Your flora.
Basically, you guys know Swamp Thing, he is the avatar of the green. So there you go. You can basically take it from there. So
correct.
We're starting to see sort of, more absolute takes on people. I still think we're going to see the we will see an individual named Poison Ivy or Clayface. I think this is we saw with Mr. Freeze. This is just sort of showing they're not just villains. They're scientists. There's a bad science thing going on, bad science juju happening in here with all of their work. So eventually, all right, this is where I started losing my mind in this issue, because we fast forward. Bruce has now been in captivity for about 45 days, and he doesn't speak in this issue, but he's the narrator of his captivity is Dr. Arkham, and she's taking notes, oh, it looks like we finally broke him. This is finally working. And In this scene, that's what she's saying. She's like, he's not eating anymore. We had to put a feeding tube into him. He doesn't talk. He doesn't move when we go to wash him. I think we've broken him. I think now we can, move on to the next stage. As they send in the doctors to get Bruce, he just, like, I saw this panel one. I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, oh man.
He busted that dude up bad.
And guys, like, what happens here is one of the most Batman things ever of like any iteration, because he busts out, he but of course, like, so he busts out of his cell, but then they discover he's like weaponized his body essentially, right? So he took out his molars and he like turned them into like knuckles. So now he can like shred you when he punches. His feeding tube, he found a way to reverse it. So instead of like taking it in, he can blast out the acid in your stomach. And
he blasts out his stomach acid. When I read that, I was like, what?
Dude, right?
Hell?
And guys, remember, we don't think about it a lot because it's inside of us, but our stomach acid is insanely strong. Like, it is scary strong.
it should be a testament to how incredible our stomach lining is.
Right.
The fact that it can withstand how powerful our stomach digestive acids are. Because like he sprays it on this dude's face and his face just starts, his face effectively starts reacting in the way that you would expect, like if somebody got sprayed by xenomorph acid,
it
xenomorph
just starts,
blood.
Like, clumping off. And then,
oh gosh,
and then in the very last panel, they mention, he hasn't been like going to they had mentioned that in his early captivity, Bruce was using the toilet inside of his cell. Now he was just starting to like pee and poo all over the place. And turns out that was actually a distraction, or like he did that on purpose to distract them from the fact that he was collecting a big fucking amount of shit and pee in his toilet that he then
an explosive.
That he blows up to get out of his cell. Like, are you kidding me? It's so insane. And then there's another note here where they're like, we were tracking him as he ran. He dropped another explosive. We lost him. And I'm like, This is Bruce. This is insane. But as he, makes his way to the poison ivy biome, he gets caught again by Bane, who every time he gets caught, like, Bane is always like, oh, gonna have to try again.
Bane is always there to beat the crap out of him.
But then to like what you were saying earlier, he like not necessarily goads him, but he's almost like a coach, right? He's like, you were so close this time. Like, all right, next time, Bruce, wham, wham, wham. And like,
please don't stop trying. Right?
And he just keeps doing it. We fast forward another month. It's now August. We find that Bruce has now been they don't get specific, but it looks like they've given him the same sort of like venom system that like Bane has. So
they've given him something. We don't know exactly what, but they've definitely given him something, because he's looking a little gnarly there.
He's looking rough, and they're still trying to break him this entire time. And Dr. Arkham says, I think we're ready to go. And Bane goes, one last test. And they drop his cowl into his cell and sort of just like leave it there to taunt him, right? Like I'm here, and Bruce in his state, he's yelling at the cowl, going like, leave me alone. It's over. Like, we're done. I can't do anything. But it's Bruce. So he eventually goes, yes, I can. And he suits up. I love this page. Like, it's so cool. But as he makes his way out, he now enters the Kirk Langstrom like experiment place. So Man-Bat, we start seeing these really gross human animal, I wouldn't even say hybrids, just like mashups, like just see if we can do it, right? Like they have their guts are spilling out, their brains are exposed. This is a pretty nuts moment too. I'm a fan of when Batman has moments like this where one of the subjects is like, help us. And Batman just goes like, I don't know how. That's crazy. That's not Bruce, like, not being capable. That's him encountering something that's like, literally, what am I supposed to do? It's crazy.
He doesn't know the answer to the problem.
But
Bruce is supposed to be a problem solver.
Right. So when he says, I don't know, that is actually, it's either heartbreaking or terrifying. And in this case, it's heartbreaking because these people won't get help. But as Bruce is contemplating this question, Bane shows up again and just starts shredding the hell out of him. And, you know, continuing like, I knew you had it in you. Don't disappoint me. Like again, like a coach, like a dad, like it's really sort of messed up. But in sort of, you know, classic villain fashion, Bane is way more obsessed with kicking Batman's ass than really noticing what's going on. And in the midst of their fight, he smashes Bruce into a glass window that has a giant egg behind it. And wouldn't you know it, something leaps out, a giant reptile, smacks the hell out of Bane. This is, okay, to your point about Batman being 6'9", 421.
6'9", 421.
In this shot, guys, so you can see, you probably noticed, like, there are scientists here looking at Batman, seeing, like, what's he going to do against our experiments. They're just taking down data. Bane shows up. He's fighting the, Batman in front of the scientists. The reptile, who we learn is Killer Croc, it's Wayland transformed. He bursts out of his cell, knocks, like, KOs Bane with just a tail whip, and Bane falls on them and kills, like, all but two of them. Like, literally just smushes like a grape. That's insane to me. Just like a limp body falling over. But, of course, the two survivors don't get far because Wayland just decides to chomp them down. And here is where we see the final, like, or the first reveal, if you will, of our ultimate or our absolute Killer Croc. And like Andrew was saying,
I just want to say,
dude,
I called it.
Oh, of course you did. Of course you did.
I freaking called it, right? I called it, like, what was it, 3 issues ago or 2 issues ago when Wayland got kidnapped at the very end of one of the issues by, like, Arkham or Arkham, you know, people. And I was like, I bet you anything, like, some of the villains in this universe are going to come about because of experiments, or at least, like, the classic villains are going to come about because of experiments
because they're all friends,
Arkham.
like their alter egos before that.
Yeah.
They're all friends, like they grew up together.
I don't think that they're going to do that with every single one of them, but they definitely did it with Wayland here. Obviously,
So, like,
Pamela Isley is involved in this as well. They mentioned Strange, so Hugo Strange. There's a like, there was like a Strange, like, sector of this place. Like, we don't know what that actually.
We don't
entails,
go there.
but
Bruce just, like, it's in a bubble, guys. Like, Bruce, like, notices.
he passes through it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where they're going with that, because I am glad for the way they decide to take this. It was actually kind of shocking. I did not expect this to be the take.
Me neither.
So
I thought we were going to get, like, our classic Killer Croc. And
like, I called it in that Killer Croc is a result of experimentation from Arkham, but
not the exacts.
At least based on this issue here, he is not necessarily, at least on his face, a Batman villain.
A villain
in the traditional sense, right? So it was super interesting the way they handled this. I read it and I was like, that's a proper subversion of expectations. I was not expecting that.
I thought that he was, like, I figured we were going to see Killer Croc and he was going to, like, somewhere in this issue he was going to pop up, but I thought it was going to be like he breaks out and he, like, attacks Bane, and that gives Batman, like, an excuse, like, or like, oh shit, I can escape now or something. Like, I didn't expect there to be, like, an interaction or a relationship here, and that I really like that. Plus, if you guys can see here in panel 3, like, he's not just a crocodile. Like, this is like a dragon, essentially, whose, like, mouth goes all the way down, like, his stomach. It's like a Godzilla symbiote, if you will. And I'm so about this design. But what makes this design even better is that right here, after Bruce, you know, reminds Wayland of who he is, you know, I'm Bruce, I'm your friend. Oh my God.
I was not expecting this, but this is probably the most, like, appropriate, like, absolute Batman thing to happen. Like, just go full over the top. This is full Scott Snyder. I almost said Zack Snyder.
I know.
Can't
but
write.
Kind of also,
Scott Snyder can actually write good Batman. Like, it's such a badass sequence.
And I love how he says, like, he's like, you know, it's me, Wayland. So now let's get back in the fucking ring. And it's like, oh, Batman. Like, this is what I'm talking about from the absolute
They've been building to this entire issue with having flashbacks to Bruce, like, training Wayland for this fight, right? This big boxing fight.
Yeah.
And like it all built to this. And that is Scott Snyder doing his thing. That is Scott Snyder.
Scott
like,
knows how to
actually
build.
really
Yeah.
working. He really does. I mean, this is the same man that gave us the Court of Owls.
The Court of Owls.
The man knows what he's doing.
Which I don't know about you, but when Lex called his troops in Superman, when he said raptors, I went, "Are you doing something? Are you doing something? Are you doing something?
Yeah.
Are you doing something?"
Yeah. Well, part of me is wondering, right, for that Brave and the Bold film that they're doing, that Batman film, right? Because if it's Brave and the Bold, we're dealing with Batman, we're dealing with Bruce and Damian. Maybe
we can see it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But no, yeah. We'll see how that. We'll see if there's any owls to be spotted in the future DCU. But yeah, so Batman jumps onto Wayland. This feels so like video gamey.
You're on
right?
the wrong.
Oh no!
Tab.
What
right
am
now,
I? Oh, what the hell? I jumped over to the browser. That's weird. This is what I meant to go to. There we go. Oh my god. Just
that looks so wicked, man.
Dragotta, man. Like
Dragotta knocked that out of the park.
He's so good at this. He's so good on this book when it's him and not the other Marcos. But from there, that's our big sort of ending. From there, we just have Bane getting up. So Killer Croc and Batman actually like escape. They're on the loose, and we kind of end with Bane going, Bane and Dr. Arkham indicating that the escape was sort of like maybe not intentional, but like expected or desired. Yeah, factored in is probably the best point, because they end it with Dr. Arkham going like, "Are you excited for the final phase?" And Bane goes, "Very excited, because now I get to truly break him." And that's where we end. There's no other cover for next week. This is just a weird side mini comic. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but
that was in
they're in a couple of them.
That was in several of this week's and last week's Batman comics, and I don't know what it's for because I didn't read
don't
it.
Either.
I saw the first page and I was like, I don't really care. I have such limited time to try and get through my stack right now. I'm not gonna bother reading the preview pages for whatever the hell this is.
So the only reason I even took notice of this is that I noticed they're written by Gail. Like, Gail is writing these mini comics. So I went, really? Let's see what she's cooking. But it's funny you don't know what this is for, because what this is for, it's for the new DC mobile game, which is DC Worlds Collide, and it's just like a very bad MOBA. Like it's very bad, it's very dumb. I don't know why you got Gail Simone to write this, because this could have been handled by like John Q. Intern. But here, it is what it is. But thankfully, that's not the focus of this issue. The focus of this issue is our boy, Absolute Bats. And yeah, just one of those issues where your jaw drops, you're having fun, and you get to the end of it. And like Andrew said, you just go, I cannot wait until the next issue comes out.
There were a lot of holy crap moments in this
issue. There
were
so many holy crap moments. And then, like, to what I was saying, this isn't even like the end, guys. Like, this is not the climax of a story. This is not the
this is like
end
issue
of an arc.
2 of this arc.
We just started this, and we've already got all this.
It was a 2-issue mini arc that we had that dealt with Freeze,
matches,
right?
Yeah, Freeze and Matches Malone. Yeah,
and now we're 2 issues into this arc, which who knows? Maybe this will only be like a 4-issue arc. I like that they're not necessarily forcing themselves into having to hit a specific number of issues.
I do like this. I do like that.
Let the story be told in as many issues as it needs to be told correctly. Maybe that's 3, maybe that's 4, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 6. Like we've seen for so long now. Maybe it's 8. Whatever it is, as long as it doesn't feel like it's being drawn out or like it's being cut short, let the writer cook.
Let them cook, and yeah, like I to Andrew's point, they did advertise, like when the Bane issue was coming out, all the solicits and everything were like, new story arc starts here. And I remember reading that and feeling like actual excitement, because it didn't feel like it felt natural. And then that was just sort of like the confirmation, like, all right, now we're going into a new story. And I went, all right, All right, cool. I'm on board. There's nothing I feel unresolved. Like let's go. So, oh, I love this book so much. I cannot wait to get our foil trade variants for them next week.
Man,
and
those are gonna look so good.
And they're the trades, guys. They're not just issues. Like, they're gonna be nice and solid, and oh, they're gonna be great in our hands. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you have to say on probably one of the best issues of Absolute Batman?
This genuinely is one of the best issues of Absolute Batman before. And guys, look, I want to put very specific special emphasis on something here. Those of you who have been watching this show or just following me and my talk on comic books for any length of time should know that there are two things I do not give a flying crap about. That's like copies of a character and alternate universes. Right now, most of my favorite comic books are coming from alternate universes in both DC and Marvel. My favorite Marvel book is Ultimate Spider-Man right now. My favorite DC books are probably Absolute Batman and Absolute Spider-Man, or Absolute Superman.
I know.
And Absolute Wonder Woman.
See,
honestly,
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, how do you pick from that trio? Like, that first trio is still really good.
The whole Absolute Trinity is fantastic right now. And so, like, that should say something, because conceptually, these are things that I don't care about. They're actually things that I don't like, because I think very often they end up detracting away from continuity and emphasis of quality being put on the main universe. But the fact of the matter is, a good book is a good book. And
well, it's also
Absolute
like
Trinity are good books.
It's also not like, so like, that's an interesting point to me, like, that you think like if there's an alternate universe that they're going to take the quality focus away. I've never heard that argument, but then also, at least like right now in this moment, it's like I can see why that wouldn't really matter, or I would argue that shouldn't really matter to you right now, because like the main books, there's clearly no recovery for them.
Here's the thing, like
just in this moment, not like
right,
overall.
In this pocket right now, like I said, I can intellectually multitask, so a good book is a good book, and the Absolute Trinity, all three of them are fantastic books. I love all three of them. You look at DC's main universe, and there are only a couple of books that are worth half a damn right now, right? And so that's where it's like, I would like to see them say, hey, look at the numbers that we're getting over here with the Absolute books. Why can't we elevate our actual main universe line up to these, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a direct detraction. However, it's more of a matter of they refuse to learn the lesson.
Yes.
Or learn the correct lessons.
That's what I was going to emphasize.
Want,
yeah. It's more that they just don't listen. They just don't follow it. They don't, you know, like, what was it, like going with the trends and following the market? They don't do that anymore. Like they're just, we're going to throw a crossover at you. Aren't you guys excited for DCKO? We finally get the Absolute.
No.
Like, I'm interested in Mark Waid coming back for Flash, because he's doing an Impulse story. Past
that's the only thing.
I know,
really.
seriously.
That's
like, past that,
the only thing.
I do not care.
Because he created that character.
And
so he's kind of Bart's dad.
Pretty much.
So it's like, all right, like, you haven't written Bart Allen in a really long time.
I mean,
see what you can do.
I would say he's like the dad to Bart Allen, and then I love those stupid shirts, but it's like, I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up. Like, he's that for Wally, because before Wally was there, but he wasn't like a character. He was still kind of like just that generic teen sidekick that all the heroes had.
He was kind of a shell, like prior to Wade taking over Wally, when Wally was main Flash. Like, you had Mike Barron, you had Willie Messer-Loebs, and they told some cool stories.
But they were trying to do too much like Barry story with Wally in it.
It was a combination of things. They were trying to tell Barry stories with Wally, but it was also just like the stories themselves were the focus, and the stories themselves were fine to even like really good or great, but the character was not really there. Like the character just kind of felt like this is this vehicle that we're following
Vehicle
to get through the
is
story.
the best way to put it. Yes.
The story was the focus rather than the person, rather than the individual. And I'm a character storytelling person. The character is the focus because what matters to me is how they react to the events around them, how they react to the story that's being told around them. And so when Wade took over, he started doing a lot more character work with Wally. And that was where he really fleshed him out
Yeah.
and where it didn't feel like this jarring thing from the Wally that we knew in Teen Titans up to that point, up until Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? When Barry died, all of a sudden he felt like he was his own person and a more organic own
Yeah.
person as opposed to what he was for a handful of years prior to that, which was like there's some cool storytelling happening here, but like the character himself just kind of feels like he's there.
And like,
And whatever suits the story is whatever he's doing.
and that's what I was gonna get at. It's like I also think you and I, because I'm like right with you. I care more about the character. I think you and I also come from the, you know, that not golden age, bronze age, like thinking, right? Like we had that post-crisis like environment to grow up in where they really cared about canon and
That's
stories.
where they were
Yeah.
focusing on character.
Right. And like before that, that was when they were like comic books were really just like product, right? Like you put it on the newsstands and we're here to just sell those copies. So what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
Superman's in a car race and Green Arrow is opening a restaurant, like things like that. So they could do like whatever they wanted. Once that switch happened with Crisis, it's sort of what always happens, right? No dig to like Mike Baron and all them, but it's like they were writing the Flash by the old rules without understanding that the new rules were here in place. And not on them. That's how any transition will ever go. But it's just that's what happened. And then Wade came in and went,
Like
I'm the one for
at
here.
just about any of the books that were coming out immediately post crisis, they were all like that. Right? They were all trying to play by those same rules almost.
Except for Byrne with Superman. That was because that was the with
John
Man of
Byrne
Steel.
was
That was the
kind
one that like
of a maverick.
I know. No, that's
he was a
exactly what I was
maverick
gonna
at the
say.
time.
Yeah.
Like
he broke
people
it.
love him or hate him, and like he really was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something crazy, and I'm gonna do something totally different. And
And it worked.
it did. It's a love him or hate him thing, and I genuinely like Byrne's work.
I do too.
And he had a lasting impact on the character, and he was one of the only, just to your credit, he was one of the only people at the time that was like, okay, so clearly the rules have changed. What are those rules now?
Right. And I think
because I don't think a lot of people understood what those rules were, and so he was trying to work through it and figure out what those were, while a lot of other writers were just trying to play by the same rules prior.
well, a lot of the other writers were kind of like they were sort of dealing with the on the face surface, like immediate after effect of Crisis, which is, we've now
The very surface level stuff.
Right. Like we've now blank slated everything. We're now back at zero. You know, the Golden Age comics, that's their own thing. Don't worry about them. Let's go. So now they're all sort of just saying like, we have a blank slate. Well, what do? We do what we used to do. But then there's people like Byrne or Wade who are like, we have a blank slate now. Let's, we don't have to fall into that trap again. We can avoid the Hawkman problem. We can avoid all of let's think about this. Which,
please.
Woof, still don't even know what's going on with him.
Nobody knows what's going on with Hawkman. DC doesn't know what's going on.
DC doesn't know what's going on with Hawkman, but
maybe Mark Waid knows what's going on with Hawkman since he's writing the new history of the DC universe.
Oh, I was gonna say like either Mark Waid, but then I was gonna be like maybe Jeff Loeb does because we read him in Superman Batman, but then I was like, oh wait, that's pre-crazy Jeff Loeb. Like that doesn't count anymore.
Yeah, I know he's a different person now. Yeah.
But yeah, while DC might not know what's going on with Hawkman, I think you and I can both agree they absolutely know what they're doing with Absolute Batman. Guys, go read this series, go pick up the trades. Like even if you have to buy the 4th or 5th printings, whatever, like this book is good. If you like comic books, this is what you want to read. If you like Batman,
it's just a good comic book.
Yeah, like this is just, it's great. Like this is going to be one of those books that you will be able to recommend to people in the future if they're like, oh, I really liked Brave and the Bold. What do I read? You go, Absolute Batman. Have fun. And then you guide them into everything else. But this is one of those easy like drop, enter, go. So I love this book so much. I can't wait to see what we get more of. And again, they haven't even shown the art for like what the trade jackets are going to look like, the foil ones. But man, I already know, like, I want them so bad. Like, unless they make them, I'm so mad here because this just popped into my head. Unless they make them the, like, what if they do the logo variants? Like, what if that's what it is?
No, they won't do that.
I hope not.
Oh, gosh,
I hope not. This is just like one of those fears that popped into my head.
I don't want it.
No.
If that's what they do, I will go on Amazon or go into my LCS and pay whatever $20 for just the standard,
like the regular cover
version.
Absolutely.
I refuse. That is a line for me. I refuse to buy logo variants
Never.
because it is the absolute laziest possible cover you could do ever. You did not pay anybody for that cover. You just utilized your own existing IP.
And then they always throw it into like a foil treatment, so then it's not even like a $5 cover. It's your fucking $9-10 covers, and it's like, are you kidding me?
So you're paying $8 or $9.99 for a foil, and it's literally just it's a blank chrome background with the character's logo. If
that, sometimes they do it in the reverse. They
absolutely refuse.
The new Avengers, the series they're doing right now, that one released with a logo variant, and that one is matte, like a regular cover, but then the logo is spot foiled, and that's like even less, but it's still $10. And I'm like,
no,
I hate you.
I'm not doing that.
No, absolutely never doing that.
That is a hard line for me. I refuse to buy logo variants.
Yep, I can't even think of a situation where I could go, oh, maybe I do it here. Like, no, like there's literally no logo you could make me.
I don't care if it's the Flash's logo. I don't care if it's Soup's. I don't care who it is. I will not. There's not a single character you can convince me to buy a logo variant cover for.
No, never gonna happen. And yes, if I find out that's what they are, not gonna happen. Like, I got you. Don't even worry about that. But all of that goes down next week, guys. Obviously, next week is San Diego Comic-Con. We probably won't have a show. So obviously, we're at the end of our show here tonight. We've gone 3 hours. Don't worry about it. We only hit 2 comics, but we really wanted to catch up with you guys. I think we had a lot of good discussions.
We did a lot of catch up.
General comic book talk that we all really needed to get out there. So thanks for hanging out with us. Obviously, as I said, next week is Comic-Con. I don't think we'll have a show. I have to see if I can set up my streaming stuff on my laptop. Maybe I'll send the thing over to Andrew and he'll do a solo. Who knows? Just be prepared for maybe a minor slight scheduling disruption. But if there is one, it's only going to be that day. I'll be back in the saddle next week. But yeah, until that time, guys, we're out of here. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure to spend our Thursday evenings with you, letting you know what's good, what's bad, what is absolutely Supergirl when it comes to the current quality of comic books that are out there. That's really all I've got. Thank you to everybody who came and hung out with us, from Mike to Oki to Zero to Subhuman to Freaking Punk to who else did we have around here? I know we had Chuck for a little bit. We had Tehillim. We had Zero. I don't remember if I said Zero, but there's Zero.
Subhuman was there.
Yep, Sub was here as well. Thank you guys all for hanging out in the chat, and also everybody who's watching in the VOD or just watching without chatting. I see you guys. We see you guys in our analytics. Couldn't be doing this show without you. We're glad to provide, and we're glad to see that there's an appetite for intellectually honest comic book talk, and we'll keep coming back. We'll keep being here. We'll keep letting you know what's good. I already said that spiel. So instead of embarrassing myself, Andrew, what do you got going on? Well, what are we closing out with on you, my friend?
Well, couple of few things. Tomorrow night at 11 p.m. is the end of the Saints and Sinners anthology collection for the pre-order window over at the RIPPAVERSE. So check that out. That has done incredible numbers. We're coming up on, I think, like 460K.
The site right now has 459, 500.
Jeez, holy crap!
And as we know, the RIPPAVERSE counter isn't always like up to date, in the second.
Yeah. So it's this weird thing. It's actually kind of expensive and weird, like the way that it all works. I don't understand a damn thing about web development, to be clear. But if you have a account on our website and you're signed in, it shows the actual up-to-date numbers. So it's probably, maybe it's like $1,000 or $2,000 above that. But regardless, like the fact that it crossed 450 for our first anthology collection is crazy. Like these are wild. Yes, these are you have Eric, who's written plenty of books for the Rippaverse. You have the Saskas who've written plenty of books for the Rippaverse. Will Jordan, aka the Critical Drinker, has written a ton of he's written I think 10 novels
of his own, yeah.
before writing the short story comic book in here. But other than that, okay, Jay David, yeah, he wrote Achromatic Chronicles, which is an all ages, young readers, family friendly story. The story that he writes in here is definitely not
why
that.
didn't you put his alias?
Oh, what? Drunk 3PO?
Yeah. Because
you
got Mahler, you got AKA the Critical Drinker, you got as listed as Babyface, and then you just have J. David.
I don't some of them are listed as their regular name, some of them are listed as a combination, an AKA type of a thing. But yeah, some of these guys, it's their first comic book script that they wrote. The anthology is a ton of fun. It might introduce some of your favorite new characters. Who knows? That's entirely up to the reader. But thank you for everybody that supported it, because the fact that here's the important thing. The fact that you supported an anthology like this, which is 4 out of 6 of the writers are not comic book writers.
Brand new, yeah.
That says that people are hungry for more takes, more writers, more stories, and that's a healthy thing for the comic book industry on the indie side overall. And so I hope people continue to support newer writers, whether it's writers that we bring in on the next Saints and Sinners, if we do another one of those, or whatever the next Ripazine is, or any of that. Thank you for all of your support. That's incredibly important. It's something that the comic book industry is, by and large, in the mainstream failed to do, is really built up a strong bench, right? When it comes to artists and writers, where you have people that's this is the next generation that we're really genuinely trying to elevate. You have your Carlos Gomez's.
I was gonna say Marvel does Stormbreakers, but that's the only one of them. That's the only program of that sort that any of them do.
Yeah,
a talent fostering development.
Exactly. Program. Not enough people are trying to do that, to where it's who's going to pick up the torch? Because guys who have been doing this for decades, like Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon, aren't going to be around, as much as it breaks my heart, forever. And then the ones who have people that are willing and capable of picking up that torch, that baton.
And then even the generation of writers under that, your Hickmans and your Jeremy Adams, they're not they're going to be around a little bit longer, but right now they're few and far between, right? Your Gales,
you don't have guys at those quality, you've
only got you've got a handful of them, and that's when you put them on your crossover, your Ultimate Spider-Man, your Absolute Batman. But then to your point, it's okay, you went out strong, you put it all there, but now Absolute Flash is kind of whack. Absolute Green Lantern's kind of whack. Ultimate Black Panther's kind of whack. You need to be able to keep that momentum. The roster, the base that you were saying, instead of letting it go.
you need more people to elevate that bench, where it's you can feel confidence. Once these other guys say, you know what, here's my swan song. This is my last arc. I'm gonna retire. Now I'm just going to chill with it, whether it's with my wife, or I'm going to spend more time with my kids, or whatever it is that they did. Right? Yeah, exactly.
They always come back.
But, right? Maybe they've got another story or a mini series or an event in them somewhere down the line.
Or a bill to pay.
Or that. But you do need to build up the next generation if you want to maintain quality. And so it's exciting to see that people are genuinely receptive to newer writers. Hopefully we'll be able to bring in some more unknown names as well down the line, and people will give them a shot and give them a crack, and hopefully enjoy whatever it is that they do. So thank you for that. Thank you to everybody who has supported just us at the Reverse in general. We just hit our 3-year anniversary on July 11th.
You hit your 3-year anniversary, your omnibus.
We hit our omnibus, and this omnibus, guys,
why aren't you loading?
This thing is over 1,300 pages. I want to impress upon you the significance of that. This is our Trinity Omnibus, which is ISOM 1, Yaira 1, and Alpha Core
1. I got that one.
It's a little over 300 pages. It's about yay thick, right? About 1 inch thick. The Trinity Omnibus is more than 4 times this. imagine how thick that book is going to be, and it's hardcover, both volumes, whether it's the standard or the foil edition hardcover.
You're looking at something closer to this, my friends.
Yeah, you're looking something closer to that, though. Even just like a little bit bigger.
It's a little bit bigger than this. Yeah,
it's a murder weapon. Okay, guys, like this is something that is genuinely ridiculous and incredible as a display piece, as something to read. Like despite what some people might tell you, hardcover oversized omnibuses have been a thing for a little while. I have them right here. I have 3 flash ones right here. This is a thick book. This is at least 3 times, if not just a little more, that Trinity Rippaverse omnibus I showed you. I have this. I've read through this. It's not difficult to read through. I don't have to stick this on a coffee table, in order to read through it. I'm not afraid that it's going to crush my skull if I hold it over my face. Right? That's probably not the most comfortable position to hold a book in general, but like I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I promise you will be. But all that is to say, thank you guys for supporting us to this point. It's been incredible. Indie comics only survive and thrive based on the support of the fans, because we don't have the backing of mega corporations like Warner Brothers or like Disney. So we only survive if fans like y'all.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like,
no, it's just more that the comment, like I always forget, but it's like, yeah, the big two are like corporate entities now. Like I always forget that. It sucks.
Yeah. Like we only are able to survive if fans are genuinely maintaining interest, and we have to maintain that interest in you. It doesn't happen just on its own. We have to give you a reason to keep coming back. And so far, thankfully, prayerfully, we've been able to do that. Thank you so much for supporting us. We're going to keep doing our best to keep you coming back, whether it's with Chuck Dixon, with Zaylin and Alpha Core and Horseman, or Eric with Isom and Salvage and Searcher, or the twins with Bloodruth and Yaira, or Caro with Dirty Deeds, and everything else that's coming down the pipeline, which I promise you is a lot, and it's coming fast, but it only happens because of you. So thank you so much. Your support is valued more than you know. And thank you just in general, everybody who watches this show, for being interested in intellectually honest comic book talk. There's a lot of talk around comic books that ends up swaying one way or the other. A lot of people will just shill a book because they're going to shill it online and it looks good, and they never actually buy the book. There are also people that will crap on a book and never actually buy the book or read the book. It happens both ways.
And then there are people who will crap on a book and then also never deliver their own books. It's a wild world out there, my friends.
It's a weird place, guys. It's the Wild West, but we try to be intellectually honest here and give you our genuine, sincere takes on whether or not, like, look, nobody here could accuse me of not liking Supergirl as a character, right? Nobody that's got their head screwed on right. Nobody wanted to like the new Supergirl book more than me. That book is bad. And I'm going to tell you that it's bad because it's bad, not just because it's going to get the stream more clicks. I'm going to tell you it's bad because the book genuinely sucks right now.
Bad.
I would love for it to get better, but it's really freaking bad. On the other hand, I am someone who hates alternate universes, hates like redundant versions of characters, and yet right now, all of my favorite books at DC, sans like Aquaman, are the absolute universe books, like the absolute universe trinity. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
I think you protest too much about alternate universes. This makes me think that you're cooking up like Earth 2 Rippaverse story for next year's zine. What have you got cooking?
I am most certainly not. I don't think anybody would trust me enough to write a Rippazine alternate universe story. That's for sure.
That's where I come in.
But I am.
I'll get Eric to do it.
Probably. Good luck. I will film that. I will film that pitch meeting. I'm happy to make y'all chuckle with my pigeon stories. That's fine by me.
But yeah, guys, check out the omnibus. Like Andrew said, 1,300 pages, all pretty much everything that has been released thus far. 2 different covers. I believe the which one's the foil one? I always forget.
The foil one. So the foil one is the collection exclusive edition, which is the one that's just Isom on the front, because Isom was the character that launched our universe.
Yep.
And that book is what set up Yaira and Alpha Core, which were our second and third books that we launched, our second and third titles that we launched in our universe. So we debated a little bit of like, what are we going to do for like a special cover? And we're like, do we just do another one that's like a bunch of characters that, we introduced in our first 3 years? I mean, why? We already have that with the
That's
standard
the standard
hardcover.
one. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we could do one that's maybe just like Isom, Alpha Core, and Yaira. Well, we already did that
was
with
for
the Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're like, you know what? Screw it. It started with Isom.
Keep it simple.
Let's keep it simple. And it looks really, really clean in foil. So check out either one of those. They're both fantastic jumping on points because it is literally every single major release, whether it was a full book or whether it was a Rippazine short story. So one of our 16-page short stories that we do. Technically Salvage was 13 pages, but the rest of them are 16. All of those are in this 1,300 plus page hardcover omnibus. So whether you get the standard, whether you get the foil one, doesn't matter. That's a perfect catch-up point, or just if you're already a Rippaverse fan.
Oh, look at it. It's got Saints and Sinners, too. It's got the brand new one. It'll be in there.
Even had, so Saints and Sinners wasn't initially going to be a part of it, and then Eric just decided, screw it, let's add that too. And we're like, so we're just adding another 100 pages to this thing. This thing is so ridiculously big, but Eric was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's our first 3 years. Everything that we launched between July of 2022 and July of 2025, that's what's going in it. And he committed to that. And this is a really thick book, guys. There's a lot of story in here. There's something for everybody, pretty much. And I would highly encourage diving in now because this is about as good a place as any to do it. And also, if you're just already a Rippaverse fan, if you're one of those people like me who likes to have like reader copies of things and then also just like display, here's my like geek fandom cred copies of things, because I don't go back and reread through my hardcover oversized omnibus. I've read through these, but after I'm done with them, then these are my display pieces on my shelf. These are my hey, I put in the time and the money on this thing. So highly encourage on that.
Yeah, no, that's all I've got. Like, all I can say is go check it out, guys. Like, Andrew's already covered it. Great deal. You've got a little time. The campaign just started. Closes out in August. So, well, actually not that much time. You got a month. So start saving that lunch money up, everybody. With that, yeah, I think that's all we've got for tonight. So
check out Good Mad Ugly tomorrow.
Yeah. Hang out with me tomorrow. We'll be having Good Mad Ugly. Should be a lot of fun. boundingintocomics.com every day for new news. Go read Absolute Batman. And I think that's all I've got for tonight. Andrew?
That's all I got. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Thanks for popping through, whether you were lurking, whether you were listening, whether you were interacting in the chat. We appreciate you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on our respective streams, whether it's Mav's stream tomorrow or mine on Sunday.
On Sunday.
We'll catch you later.
Be there. We'll see you soon. And if not before then, we'll see you on the next episode of Foil Variant. Adios, everyone.
God bless.
Never before have we had greater face a complex, rapidly changing world. Think of it a moment.
It is a world in which supersonic speeds are commonplace. It is a world that has seen the coming of the atomic bomb. It has seen the rise of the total state, the dictator, and the mass man. It is a world of new sensations, new excitements, new distractions.
So much to be learned by so many in so little time.
And I suppose you're here with no agenda, as per usual?
On the contrary, I'm here for comics.
How's your comic book collection, Brody?
Oh, it's going good, but